It's the Orioles on Masson on a hazy and muggy afternoon in Camden Yards. It's the Orioles and the Texas Rangers today, the rubber game in this three-game weekend series. And hi, everyone. I'm Jim Hunter. Thanks so much for joining us. And following play today, Major League Baseball will break for its All-Star game. Now, most of the players will enjoy 3 or 4 days off before getting back at it next Friday night. But for Manny Machado, he will represent the Orioles in Washington as voted in as the starting shortstop in the American League. Now, when you look at Manny's season, it is an honor he deserves. He's not only the Orioles' best player overall this year, you look at the numbers, he has been one of the most consistent hitters in the American League. He's tied for 4th in RBIs. He's tied for 5th in base hits, 6th in home runs he's tied. He is tied for 7th with 33 multi-hit games, and he's in the top 10 in batting, 7th at .313, 5 multi-home run games. That is more than any hitter in all of Major League Baseball. And a pleasure to welcome Ben McDonald today. And Ben, when you look at the season Manny is having, I know players like to be called gamers, but consistency, that's what it's all about. And Manny has been that way since opening day.
Yeah, he really has. And if you go back the last 3 years, look, he's averaged 35 home runs and 93 RBIs the last 3 years. He's on pace to eclipse, of course, both of those categories. But for me, since stepping here in Baltimore back in 2012, he's been a star, really on both sides of the ball. The defense has been outstanding. The offense has really come together here the last 4 years. And I tell you what, he is an all-star for the 4th time in his career, the 2nd time as a starter, and the 1st time as a shortstop. So Manny Machado has done it all, especially the last 4 years. Orioles has been their most consistent player and offensive player throughout the season.
Now, I want to take you down memory lane a little bit. Let's go back to 1991. You were teammates with Cal Ripken Jr. Now, maybe unfair to compare the seasons because Cal was the MVP that year, but Ripken that year, very consistent from day one. He went to the All-Star game as the starting shortstop, came away with an MVP trophy.
Yeah, I mean, watching Cal play, you know, he was so consistent about his everyday work and what he did, and it's been amazing to me. You don't normally see a guy transition from third base to shortstop. Normally, it's the opposite, like Ripken did. Manny's done it well. You know, there were some errors, some throwing errors early in the year, but he's a shortstop throughout his career. For me, he was the best third baseman in all of baseball. He makes a transition this year, and there was a few errors early in the year, but he's still, for me, one of the best defensive players you'll see in all of baseball.
Now, it has obviously been a lean first half for the Orioles. They're in last place in the AL East, worst record in all of Major League Baseball. So from the player's standpoint, the All-Star break, a good time to get away?
No doubt. It's really a good time to get away. You get a chance to hit the reset button, and that's what you need to do. There's still a lot to play for the Orioles. Yeah, there's not a championship to play for, not a wild card to play for, but for me, pride. I mean, pride to me is the most important thing. I've never met a big league player play with anybody that didn't have a lot of pride and a lot of want to. So I look for the Orioles. If they can win this game today, win this series, the first series they'll win in their last 6. If they can find a way to do that, to build a little momentum for the All-Star break, who knows what can happen in the second half, and they can get a little bit going.
You know, the other aspect of this, as we play this final game before the All-Star break, we have no idea what this roster is going to look like when they get back together in Toronto on Thursday afternoon for a workout and Friday for a game. There may be changes, there may not be, but we know there's a lot of trade talk, and when there's chatter, somewhere down the road, there will be a deal.
Yeah, eventually there is going to be a deal, possibly for Zach Britton, of course, Manny Machado. And look, there's a lot of uncertainty going on, and I think that has something to do with the play right now, because it's tough to step into a clubhouse not knowing who's going to be in that locker the next day. And I think the Orioles have been going through that for some time. So I think once the trade deadline is over and all that is past them, I look for this team to get a little bit more consistent.
You know, while there's some uncertainty in the Major League clubhouse, there's anticipation in the minor league clubhouses because there are players down there who are on the verge of call-ups. They're just waiting for an opening on the roster.
Opportunities. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's why you stay. When you're in the minor leagues, you stay ready. When you're on the bench and not playing very much, even at the big league level, you stay ready because eventually you're going to get your opportunity. And all you can ask for at the end of the day is an opportunity to do so. So I know a lot of guys are excited in the minor leagues, and maybe a few guys on the Oriole bench are excited about maybe becoming an everyday player.
Now, in the finale today, the Orioles were hoping Jimmy Yacobonis would come up from AAA to make this start, but he is ill. So Miguel Castro takes them out. It's going to be a bullpen game in the finale before the All-Star break. We are coming back to Camden Yards, rubber game of 3. Lineups and first pitch are next.
had a little baby named Brooks, or they saw me when I was 12 years old, and that's important. I feel great about it. My wife Connie does too, and I love to say hello and meet people. I just want to be treated like people treat me. I like to give a little love back to them, and that's the way I was even in high school and everything. I enjoy.
Is brought to you by Southwest. Low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Well, Sunday afternoon baseball here at Camden Yards. Here's our game time temperature brought to you by BGE Home. We know more, we do more. 84 degrees, winds out of the east-southeast, and that humidity is on the rise. A very muggy day here at Camden Yards, 59%, and at the moment we have mostly cloudy skies. So the rubber game of 3, Texas on the road to finish out the first half, and SHIN-SOO CHOO in that leadoff spot. He'll head down to Washington, his first ever All-Star game appearance at the age of 36. Andrews, Profar, and ODOR with Guzman at first, Rua, Gallo, Kiner, Falefa, and DeShields for the Rangers.
Yeah, starting on the mound for the Orioles, Miguel Castro gets a spot start, making only his second start of his career. 115th appearance of his career. You see the sinker 53.5% of the time. It's an exploding fastball. You'll see it 95 and above at times. The key for him is command. Fastball command, the command of his breaking pitches. That's something to keep an eye on. 31 walks in 53 innings pitched this year. He'll have to command the zone a little bit better than that today.
So bullpen game, we expect we'll see Mike Wright as well, as Castro probably can get into the 60s in pitches if he's pitch efficient innings wise. So if he can give the Orioles 4 innings, Ben, they'll be thrilled with that.
No doubt. I mean, if he can work 3 or 4 innings, you got to think probably around 50 pitches will be his limit. And, you know, with the All-Star break coming, lots of off days for the relievers, even if they get extended just a little bit today.
So we are about ready as Castro taking his time getting those warm-up tosses in. So big game for the Orioles, Ben. As you mentioned in the open, you'd like to go into the break having won a series. They haven't won a series since they took 2 out of 3 in Atlanta. So you want to go into this break. Players will scatter. Some are even going to head up to Toronto, I understand, to be there ahead of the team and really relax and take it in. But winning a game before you take a few days off is big. Yeah,
winning a game and winning a series is even bigger, you know, because those have been hard to come by, obviously, for the Orioles. So to build a little bit of momentum going into the All-Star break and into the second half, this would be a huge win for the Orioles.
So Castro to the mound. He does have 2 wins on the year, and here is SHIN-SOO CHOO. Comes in batting at .290, 2 out of 7 in the series. And he is having a heck of a year, which is why he is a Major League All-Star. And Castro deals, and we are underway in a first ball swing and a foul back. Castro, 23 years old. He's in his 4th season and really coming into his own as an Oriole. He was in the big leagues at 19 with the Toronto Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays, because of his arm bend, they made him the closer. And eventually he was dealt to Colorado. He was one of the pieces in the package when they got Troy Tulowitzki from the Rockies. So he was in demand even as a 19-year-old.
Well, it's no denying the arm strength and the power. I mean, it's a frame 6'4". It's going to continue to fill out, only get stronger for him.
Check swing, and it's low. Peeled to third. He didn't go. Now the count to 2-1. CHOO always has had one of the best batting eyes in the American League. He's already walked 60 times, which is 3rd most in the American League. Upstairs, ball 3. Now that is one thing that Miguel still needs to work on, Ben. That's his command. He's averaging 5 walks per 9 innings. And, in a starting role, that's even more critical. Yeah,
he's already walked more this year than what he did last year. So command's not even been as good this year as it was last year. That's a really good pitch on the outside corner. And you know, sometimes it takes young guys. It takes a couple of 100 innings in the big leagues really to start to figure out your mechanics. You always fight mechanics as you go as a hitter or a pitcher, but to get consistent with it, sometimes it just takes some innings.
And a 3-2 pitch cut the plate in half, but he doesn't get the call. Castro did not like that call of Corey Blazer. So let's get a look at the defense behind Castro.
I see the defense from left to right in the outfield. Rickard, Jones, and Trumbo in the infield. Beckham, Machado, Scope at second base. Chris Davis over at first. And of course, Caleb Joseph, who's been swinging it pretty well as of late. And boy, last night, Adam Jones, an outstanding play, playing a little bit deeper. He gets a really good read off the bat and a diving catch. One of the best plays defensively for the Orioles as they won 1-0 to even this series up against the Rangers.
Elvis Andrus now, the Texas shortstop. Andrus having a tough road trip. He is just 6 for 34. This is the finale of this road trip for the Rangers. They head home and they'll open up the second half in Arlington, Texas. They are 3-6 so far on this 10-game trip, which concludes today. Andrus, a young veteran. You know, we're talking about possible trades, Ben, and you look back, and Elvis Andrus, he was one of the 5 players, excuse me, that came back from Atlanta when Texas traded Mark Teixeira to the Braves. And the reason I bring that up is Teixeira, like Manny Machado, was a rental. He was in his free agent year. He went to Atlanta, and then he left, and he went and signed elsewhere. So they traded him to the Angels, and then the Angels lost him as a free agent to the Yankees. So you can get back even for a rental if teams feel that's the final piece.
Absolutely. And I think there's several Orioles that maybe fall in that category this year.
And ball 3 inside after a leadoff walk. 3-1 on Andrus.
Yeah, home plate umpire Corey Blazer, pretty tight strike zone. There's been a couple of pitches right down at the bottom of the knees that have not been called for strikes, including that 3-2 pitch to SHIN-SOO, who, by the way, gets on base for the 51st consecutive game.
Fouled also back-to-back 3-2 counts. Castro, even though he has strikeout stuff, he's only striking out about 5.5 per 9 innings. So that has not been a regular part of his game this year. Runner goes and the pitch is fouled off.
Well, he's constantly pitching behind him because he has not had the command of the fastball, you know, in command of his off-speed pitches. When you're constantly pitching behind him, it's hard to strike guys out. Obviously, you got to get to 0-2 and 1-2 to be able to expand the zone a little bit, and he's just not had that luxury this year.
His longest outing this year was 4 2/3 in relief against Kansas City on May 10th. CHOO runs again, and it's inside ball 4. So Castro begins the game with back-to-back walks. And that one wasn't even close. Here's our Maryland Live Casino inside the numbers in the series recap. Well, each team with a win in the first 2 games. Each team has scored a total of 5 runs. See, the ERA is very similar. Batting average with runners in scoring position, that's where the Orioles have the advantage. And the OPS pretty even there. So 1-1 in the series in the rubber game, and already Roger McDowell is out for a chat here in the first inning after back-to-back walks.
Yeah, you can see Castro leaving a lot of balls arm side, and what happens when you leave a ball arm side, a lot of times your front shoulder starts to fly open a little bit, and that ball will stay on that arm side. And that's kind of what's going on right now. So it's a mechanical talk. He's just calming down. The big right-hander right now. Maybe a few mechanical tips, and he'll be right back at it.
It was a long conversation. Castro in that game on May the 10th, he threw 65 pitches, a season high, and he did get the win that day, one of his 2 wins. This is only his 2nd major league start, as Ben mentioned. The other was September 30th of last year in Tampa, where he pitched into the 4th, lasted 3 1/3 in that game against the Rays. So here's JURICKSON Profar, who's playing at third base today, giving Beltre a day off. And he'll take low, 1-0. So Castro's missing up, he's missing down.
First innings are always the toughest for a starting pitcher. And I know Castro's a reliever, so he's used to coming in these situations. But for me, I know it was tough to get the feel.
Nice stop there by Caleb.
Because the bullpen mound when you warm up is not the same as a game mound. Yeah, the distance is still 60 feet 6 inches, but it's different when you step on the game mound, and then all of a sudden you get a ball, you know, you get a batter steps in the box, you get that adrenaline flow, and then, boy, you turn it up a notch, and that's something you just can't duplicate down in the bullpen. Pretty good stop by Caleb Joseph to keep that ball in front.
2-0 on Profar. And there's a strike. And sarcastic applause by the fans. Profar, 25 years old, from Curacao. Obviously buddies with Jonathan Scope. And a little bit low again. It's got to be hard as a pitcher to figure out the umpire's strike zone when he's not calling any strikes.
Yeah. Well, it's been a small zone so far. You know, and umpires in a lot of ways are filling out their strike zone too in the first inning. And boy, it's been a rough one so far.
3-1, swing and a miss. Got a fastball by him.
Yeah, just a good old four-seam fastball, 3-1 count. Got to throw a strike. But you see that late life and movement to that ball right there? That's a blessing that Castro has for sure, because your stuff always lets you know how good you have. And when you get a fastball by a guy in a 3-1 count, you know you got pretty good stuff.
Pop foul out of play. That'll be in the stands. So the first three hitters all go to 3-2 counts. Profar in his 5th season. He's been the utility guy for the Texas Rangers and Jeff Bannister because he can move all over the infield. I'm sure he'd rather be given an everyday job at one position. That ball's crushed, but that's going to hook foul. So that one got too much of the plate.
Yeah, you can see Caleb Joseph had kind of rocked to the outside part, wanted on the outside. The ball jerked more on the inside. Boy, Profar turned that thing around in a hurry.
There's the skipper on the left. So 3-2 with 2 on and none out. And he walked him. So Castro begins the game by walking the bases loaded.
Yeah, decided after Profar got a hold of that last fastball, came back with a 3-2 changeup, and you could see just missed down in the zone with it. So he's trying to figure something out. You see the totals there: 21 pitches, only 9 strikes so far by Castro.
Well, nowhere to put ROUGNED ODOR, who's batting cleanup today. Comes in at 238. He is 7 for 28 on the Texas trip. And a breaking ball for a strike. So a good call there by Caleb Joseph to get him off the fastball.
Well, I thought Joseph last night called a really good game for a young Jeffrey Ramirez last night, who had an outstanding effort, going 5 innings, 2 hits, didn't allow a run, struck out a career high 7.
Stays outside and misses, so 1-1. Now the thing about Castro, he does have that upper 90s fastball, but he really loves his changeup. And Mike Wright already getting loose in the Oriole bullpen here in the first. And you wonder if maybe it hurts his aggressiveness a little bit. This one's fouled back to our left. So he gets ahead 1-2. First hitter he's been ahead.
Well, Castro's got wonderful stuff, but I don't care who you are and what level you pitch at. If you're constantly pitching in fastball counts 2-0, 3-1, 3-2, it's really tough to get guys out.
And he got him. He chased the pitch outside of the strike zone. That's a big out for Castro, and 1 away. So he stuck with the off-speed pitch, and he fooled him.
Well, that's the difference. When you get ahead in the count, you see that changeup grip. He turns it over and kind of runs it down and away from ODOR right there for a huge first out. But that's the difference. When you can get ahead and expand the strike zone, guys will swing at that pitch. When it counts 3-1, he doesn't swing at that pitch.
Here's the rookie Ronald Guzman, who has settled in at first base. Ball 1 inside. Guzman, 23, from the Dominican Republic. He's been in the Rangers organization since he was 16 years old. Made his big league debut April 13th. Here's a strike, 1-1. Castro actually had put together 3 consecutive scoreless appearances out of the bullpen. Only 2 2/3, and he last pitched on Thursday, faced 2 batters through 10 pitches. That ball is crushed to right field. That ball is back, and that ball's going to go. There is a grand slam for Ronald Guzman, and the Rangers grab a quick 4-0 lead against Miguel Castro and the O's. Guzman's 9th home run on the year, and walking the bases loaded does come back to hurt Miguel Castro.
Yeah, and falling behind in the count again and getting a predictable pitch, a fastball. Now, it was down in the zone a little bit, but most left-handers like Guzman like the ball down. Watch where this ball is. It's down, but look, center cut of the plate. I mean, splits the plate in half, and Guzman drops a barrel on that. One swing, 4 runs.
Nice catch by that fan. And there's a strike to Ryan Rua. So all smiles on that Texas bench. There's a swing and a miss on the 30th pitch of the first inning. So the second grand slam for Texas. SHIN-SOO CHOO had the other. Both hit on the road. CHOO hit his in Chicago. For Castro, the 3rd home run he's allowed. There's a fly ball to shallow left center field. Actually very shallow. It's going to be Manny. And he has it. A few steps back on the grass. So 2 down on the pop-up. There's Joey Gallo, the number 7 batter. 186 average, but look at the power. 22 home runs. And he has 36 extra base hits and a big bouncer to Davis. So that was a tough play. And Castro finally gets out of it. But 3 walks and a home run. The grand slam by Guzman. Texas with a 4-0 lead. One swing of the bat, you're down 4-0, and there you go. That is a good baseball lesson here at Camden Yards. The Orioles lineup presented by Southwest. Low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Beckham leads off. Jonathan Scope, who's having a heck of a July. He's probably one player that doesn't want the All-Star break. 377 in the month. Machado, Jones, and Trumbo with Valencia DHing today. Davis, Rickard, and Joseph.
Yeah, and they'll face Mike Minor. You see the numbers on him for the year. Mostly 4-seam fastballs, right at 48% of the time. Slider and changeup, that's his main 3 pitches. He'll mix in an overhead curve from time to time. And he's back as a starter this year. Last year with Kansas City Royals, he was a reliever after coming missing 2 years with labral surgery. And had a really good year last year and struggled a little bit at the beginning this year. But as of late, he is really getting it going again.
Pretty high fly ball percentage. That could work in the O's favor here at Camden Yards on a muggy day. As Beckham fouls it back. Tim 6 for 28 on the homestand. He's had trouble getting consistent, really good swings at the plate. Of course, he missed 53 games when he had the core surgery, so still trying to get that timing totally back. Towards short, there's Andrews. And one away in the ground ball.
Joey Gallo from left to right in the outfield for the Rangers. The Shields in center. Rua out in right field. And Profar and Andres. ODOR's at second. Guzman over at first. And Kiner Falefa. How about that?
Way to go.
Took some practice.
And here is Jonathan Schoop, who has been on a tear. Batting average up to 228. And he had slipped below 200. Here's a pitch low, and again, this is a very small strike zone for Corey Blazer. Jonathan has 20 hits in his last 13 games. He had the 10-game hitting streak, then that was snapped. So in the last 13 games, 20 for 53 with a couple of home runs.
Well, a wonderful season last year that Jonathan Schoop had.
This ball's tapped slowly to short. Andrews will get his man and 2 men down. A nice ovation for Manny Machado, who received his All-Star Game jersey prior to the game. He'll be the Orioles' lone representative in Washington. Yet another National League team hosting the All-Star Game. I think Major League Baseball forgot that there's an American League.
Yeah, forgot about the American League. Huh?
That ball is crushed. That ball is back. And that ball is gone. Machado jumps on the first pitch, his 24th. And the O's get on the board here in the first. So closing out an all-star first half in style.
Hello. I'm talking about Machado ambushed a fastball, looking first pitch fastball, and he got one right down the middle. And Mike Minor will fill up the strike zone. He likes the challenge with his fastball, but he may second think that the next time Manny Machado steps in the box.
So Manny, who leads the major leagues with 5 multi-home runs, now has a chance to add to that today as he homers in his first at-bat. He taught Chase Peterson the handshake he and Schoop came up with. Let's get a look at this blast.
Yeah, it looked like just a 4-seam fastball coming right down the middle. How about this? Behind the baseball, head down, and finds the barrel, and a long one out to left center field.
Adam Jones a bloop towards first. There's Guzman, and he has it. And that'll retire the side. But Machado gets the Orioles on the board, his 24th and his 65th RBI. A no doubt about it shot to left. We'll head to the second in a 4-1 game. Visit Orioles.com/auctions and bid on these autographed and authenticated game-worn jerseys and caps. All the proceeds will benefit the Orioles Charitable Foundation. Now, bidding will close next Saturday, July 21st at 10 p.m., so don't miss out. Orioles.com/auctions. Ball one to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who is the catcher. Castro falling behind another batter and already at 34 pitches. Now, Ben, you hear all the time, and you certainly fit this category as a tall pitcher, but for Miguel Castro, who is 6'7", a challenge for the mechanics to be consistent.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, all you got to do is go back and look at Randy Johnson's career. Go back and look at the first 5 years of his career with the Expos, and he walked, 180, 200 guys. It takes a while, and that's what we're talking about. You get enough innings in the big leagues to start to figure it out. And anytime you're tall at 6'7" or really 6'5" and above, it's just hard to sink. I always equate it to golfers. How many 6'5" golfers you see on the PGA Tour? 6'7"? None.
Not very many.
Right, because the mechanics of the golf swing, it needs to be a compact golf swing to be able to recreate it every time. And when you're that tall, you fight it from time to time. So it's all got to sync up just right.
And he has just 153 innings of big league experience. And here's the 8th batter of the game, and it's the 4th 3-2 count already. And he got a strike call. There you go.
Oh, I like that one. You're right. That's first time 3-2. He was able to finally get an out. Just paints the outside corner. Caleb Joseph rocks the outside part of the plate, and I mean just dotting the I on the outside corner. And a good start here for Castro in the top of the second.
And you can see there on the Mercedes pitch cast that Caleb set up there and he hit the glove. So you'll tend to get calls from umpires, right, when the catcher doesn't have to move the glove. So strikeout number 2, 1 away. Here's the Shields. And a strike. He went back to the same spot. Delino at 210. Does have a couple of home runs. To say he's looking forward to the All-Star break. He's 0 for 25 on this road trip.
Yeah. Well, he fractured a hamate bone, early second game of the year and missed 23 games and kind of been fighting his way back and just hadn't been the same since coming back. But he's certainly a game changer. 16 stolen bases on the year. He gets on, he can really get an offense started.
One and two. Yeah, the first 2 batters in the first inning, CHOO and Andrews, both swung at the first pitch, but now that they see he's battling command, now they're waiting.
Yep.
Breaking ball misses low. Now, the one thing I know you'll appreciate as a former big league pitcher, the way you mentioned Caleb calls the game, he's very, very good at reading bats. And if he sees a hitter struggling against a certain type of pitch, he'll encourage his pitcher to go back, sometimes triple up on it.
Yeah, and he really studies too. He'll tell you. I got to interview him yesterday, for the radio show, and he's in his 11th professional season. Go count minor leagues, of course. Been in Baltimore for a few years now, but he's really a student of the game. Really likes to really set up guys, know how to set up guys, and he'll have those conversations with the starting pitchers every time about how they want to work each batter.
So the 8th pitch about to be made to Delino DeShields, who is the 5th batter through the first 9 to go to a 3-2 count. Right at Machado. And he gobbles it up, throws low, but scooped up by Chris Davis for the out, so 2 men down. Well, SHIN-SOO CHOO coming up. He's now been on base in 51 consecutive games. He swung at the first pitch of the game. Now here's the first pitch breakdown for the major league ranks. 26.5% swings. That's the 6th lowest, so they're patient. Tied for the 3rd fewest first pitch plate appearances. RBI 6th, and then you see their batting average pretty good, on base percentage pretty good, and slugging percentage pretty good. Why? Well, they lead in all those categories.
I wonder if they know those numbers. If they knew they were hitting that high on first pitch, I think they might swing it more first pitch.
Jeff Bannister, the skipper of the Rangers. Chop foul.
Of course, the Orioles hitting .227. That's 15th best out of 15 teams in the American League, but the Rangers are just one notch at 14th place, you know, hitting 236. So both of these offenses have had their struggles this year.
And a comebacker on the 50th pitch of the game for Castro. He'll get CHOO and a bounce back inning. Texas goes 3 up, 3 down in the second. Game today, you can play Home Run Rich's scratch-offs and win up to $50,000 or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/homerun. So Manny already contributing to Patricia's winnings. Mark Trumbo leads off in the second against Mike Minor. And there's a strike. Very little head-to-head with Oriole batters against Minor. In fact, the starting lineup today, a total of just 10 at-bats against him coming in.
Yeah, not much success in those 10 at-bats either. So, you know, we got to remember, Minor's been hurt. You know, he spent 2 years and really didn't pitch at all, coming back from that shoulder surgery. Last year, of course, for Kansas City, he was a reliever.
Popped up wide at first. There's Guzman, and he's got it. And one away here in the Orioles second. On Friday, July 20th, you can join the Ozone Rally team presented by Budweiser from 6 until 8 p.m. at the Hard Yacht Cafe in Dundalk, featuring former Oriole Al Bumbry and the Oriole Bird. For a complete schedule and rally info, just go online, Orioles.com/rallies. So that is back-to-back hitters that have been sawed off by Minor and weak pop-ups to first base. Here's Danny Valencia. He's DHing today, and he'll get a pitch in there. Minor does for a strike.
Yeah, you see Minor up to 95, and he'll do that. I mean, you've seen, you said it, a couple of guys really got some fastballs in on their hands. That's where he likes to pitch. He'll come back to his glove side and pitch the right-handers inside. So he likes to challenge with that fastball.
Down and in. That may have been a cutter. It had some wiggle on it.
Two different breaking balls. A hard slider like that, a cutter, and an overhand breaking ball. Of course, the slider he'll use a little bit more, and a change up to right-handers. See him just pounding that fastball right inside.
Valencia has hit in 2 straight, but he's been in an extended slump. He's just 4 for his last 40. Towards the hole, diving stop by Profar. He gets up and throws, and he got him. What a play by JURICKSON. Profar takes a base hit away from Valencia.
Boy, it must be the big leagues. How about that play? Texas Rangers, you know, 15th best on defense in the league this year, but Profar will have none of that stat that he lays out. Watch him cover some ground right here. Lays out, catches it quickly, gets to his feet. And how about the strong throw across the diamond? just to get Valencia.
And there you go. There's another example. You talked about it earlier. A shortstop moving to third base. The 2 down as Profar makes that outstanding play. Here's Davis.
If you can play shortstop, you can almost play just about anywhere. Maybe except for catcher and pitcher, but past that. Remember Robin Yount many, many years ago went from shortstop to center field.
I know Chris Davis has those batting gloves back on. Friday night he didn't wear the batting gloves.
Yeah, I noticed that. And last night he didn't have batting gloves on either, so he's trying just a little bit of everything. And he's had some better swings as of late too. You know, he's been facing a lot of left-handed starting pitcher. I think this is the 3rd run in a row the Rangers have ran out there. So it's been a tough go for him.
Talking hitting with Scott Coolball. Fastball runs in on him, 2-2. Davis on the homestand, 3 for 20 without an RBI. I mean, we're this deep into the season. The Orioles playing their 97th game, but it's still amazing how so many proven hitters have just not been able to get it going. And as you mentioned, Ben, the lowest team batting average in the American League at the break.
Yeah, it's a mystery. I mean, it's a mystery, you know, why certain players. Jonathan Scope had an outstanding year last year, and others. Beckham had 50 hits in the month of August when he came over here for the Orioles. Have struggled, and you really can't put a finger on why it happens. It just happens.
That was a good defensive swing, protecting the outside corner.
That's why you think that, you know, if they can get some of the Orioles can get a little momentum going towards the second half, you know it's got to get better in the second half.
Well, and I would expect also once changes are made, and again, we have no knowledge of what those changes will be, but you get some of those minor leaguers up here for the first time in the big leagues, just the enthusiasm will help. Another defensive swing on the 7th pitch of the at-bat. You know, and again, we don't know which players will be promoted, but you certainly could see minor leaguers who are without a doubt making you notice them, and Cedric Mullins is at the top of the list.
And hungry. That's right. Hungry to come up and show front office people what they can do to maybe have an opportunity for next year. So there's a lot of young guys down in that minor league system hoping for an opportunity.
So Davis in a battle here, 2-2 with 2 outs and the base is empty. Just outside, ball 3, and you saw Minor, he was starting to walk off the field, but again, Corey Blazer's not going to give in.
Yep. Well, home plate umpire has been consistent. Corey Blazer, he has shown you he has got a pie plate type strike zone.
3-2. There's a called strike 3. Breaking ball bends in there, and Davis is down on strike. O's go 3 up, 3 down in the 2nd. Well, back here at Camden Yards. Hey, the bird is back on the warehouse. I love that. What a beautiful ballpark. Great place to watch a game. They got the kids free zone now and coming out and join us in the second half. And once the roster turnover comes, guys like Cedric Mullins get up here, there's going to be a lot of excitement.
I've heard a lot about him. He can really go,
He's got a 14-game hitting streak.
And he can run, play defense out in center field.
And a strike. All right, let me explain the kids free. I think I worded it backwards. You don't have a kids free zone because you want the kids here. They cheer free. So you buy one ticket an adult, you can bring 2 children 9 or under for free.
Okay.
Is what I meant.
Okay.
I didn't want you to think that, you know, we have a zone here where the kids are not allowed. They're allowed everywhere.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Kids free, so you got maybe an adult area and a kids area, but that's not the case.
No, we don't do that.
Not the case, yeah.
No,
we don't do that.
We welcome everybody.
Yeah.
We're very welcoming.
Got to. It's summertime. Kids are out of school. Hanging out at the ballpark.
Another bouncer to Manny. And he gets it across and 1 down. Let's get a look at our PNC minor league insights brought to you by PNC. There's no better time to act than today. PNC make today the day. Well, Mike Yastrzemski is really having a good time down there at AAA Norfolk. Batting average up to 284, 25 RBIs, 25 runs. Never has really been on the top prospect list, but at the end of every minor league season, you look down, he's got good numbers.
Just a ball player. I remember him. He played at the University of Vanderbilt, you know, years ago in the SEC, and just was that kind of player there too. Just look up at the end of the season, he was there doing his thing. You know, you see what he's hitting, 333 with runners in scoring position. That's what I really like.
Profar drew one of the 3 walks in the first. He was on base for the grand slam by Guzman. Today's a big day for Ryan Mountcastle, and it's a big day for Alex Wells. They are representing the Orioles in the Futures game, which I believe gets underway about 4 o'clock. Mountcastle is a very, very interesting prospect because he may have the best bat speed in the system. And he's at AA Bowie and having a good year. Alex Wells last year was the Jim Palmer Pitcher of the Year at Delmarva, and he's at Frederick now. Some very interesting pitching prospects. Many of them still an A ball or below, but really good arms and really good scouting reports on them.
Well, I love the Orioles' 3rd round pick this year, Blaine Knight out of the University of Arkansas. I saw him a lot over the last 3 years, and I tell you what, he is polished and he is a good one, and I really think he'll be a fast climber.
Towards the middle, there's Machado, and he gets his man. So 2 men down. And here comes Buck. So it looks like that's going to do it for Castro, who goes 2 2/3 in this spot start. He's up to 60 pitches, which may or may not have been the limit. So with the back-to-back lefties coming up, we'll go to the pen for Tanner Scott.
1 hit, 4 runs, walked 3 and 2 strikeouts, gave up the grand slam in the first inning, but after that did not allow a base runner, returned the last 7 in a row, 60 pitches and 36 strikes. And it is time for our Jiffy Lube pitching change. Jiffy Lube signature service oil change. In and out fast, and you never need an appointment. So, the left-hander Tanner Scott comes in, making his 27th appearance. See the record, the ERA. It's a good fastball from the left side up to 98 miles an hour. See opponents hitting 290 off of him.
First ball swinging is ODOR into the shift. Scope has it. That won't be able to get him. He wasn't able to balance himself to get anything on the throw, so that'll be a base hit.
Well, you can see Scope, he's playing short right field. This ball is hit right past Chris Davis. Scope's playing so deep he can get to it. When he turns around, just not able to get a whole lot on the throw. Of course, ODOR runs above average and really no shot. Scope does a nice job just to be able to get to it.
So ODOR on with a 2-out base hit, and that gets Mr. Grand Slam to the plate, Ronald Guzman. And chop foul. Well, Tanner Scott holding left-handed batters to a 200 batting average. Right-handers are batting 355 against Tanner. See Guzman, he's handled left-handers very well. Let's take a look back at his grand slam in the first inning through StatCast. 99 miles per hour, 379 feet onto the flat court.
Yeah, launch angle of 32, and that'll do it.
Ball and a strike on Guzman. Real good breaking ball. And that's the pitch that's going to be the difference for him.
Yeah, I think that breaking ball, that slider is definitely going to be the difference maker for Tanner Scott. You know, the fastball is explosive, already up to 98 miles an hour. But we saw him a couple nights ago, you know, throw a couple of 3-2 breaking balls when he needed to. So has a lot of confidence in that off-speed pitch to be able to throw it in fastball type counts.
And he comes back with it. He gets the strikeout. So Tanner Scott allows a base hit, but he strikes out Guzman, and that'll end it mid-third, 4-1 Texas. Moment later in today's game. 4-1 grand slam by Guzman, solo home run by Manny Machado. Mike Minor back to work. The Machado home run, the only hit and the only base runner for the O's through the first 2 innings. Very pitch efficient. 25 pitches to get through the first 2. Joey Rickard getting a start today. Buck Showalter said before the game he just needs to get him in the lineup, so Trey Mancini gets the day off. Bunt attempt, but he fouls it back. Joey actually has a 4-game hitting streak. 5 for 13. .385 clip with a couple of ribbies.
Yeah, and he's never faced minor before.
Joey appeared in all 4 games in the Yankee series, and he got a base hit in all 4. But this is his first start since. He did not play Thursday against the Phillies, and then last night he got in the game late for defense. There's Trey on the Orioles bench. Now there's somebody that wants to hit the restart button.
Yeah, it's almost a totally different year for him this year, for Trey Mancini. Last year, remember how well he hit runners in scoring position, and again, you can't put a finger on why.
Well, that knee injury, I think, really has had more of an effect than anyone realized, and maybe even he wanted to admit to when he tried to make that catch down the line and banged into the wall. But he'll turn it around. He's too good of a hitter. Certainly somebody to watch in the second half. So 2-2 on Rickard. Joseph is on deck, and then Beckham. And fights it off. Now Joey Rickard, he attended the same high school as Joey Gallo, who's the Texas left fielder in Las Vegas. They are both graduates of Bishop Gorman High School in Las Vegas. So that's pretty cool. Two players that attended the same high school appearing in the same game. One-time Oriole Marty Cordova also attended that high school. Outside, ball 3. Some at bat here.
Yeah, really good at bat. Fought off some tough pitches. Just got a piece of them, the Joey Rickard, to extend the at bat now to a 3-2 count.
So he's about to see a 9th pitch in this at bat. Line, but foul. Ballger just made a fan. Now there's a smart youngster. He's got the towel just in case. If it's too hot, or if I need the towel off, I'm ready.
Yeah, pretty comfortable today. It's not too bad. Yesterday was really sticky.
He thought he wanted the baseball. No, just a high five. You got a souvenir. And how about that at bat as Joey Rickard works a leadoff walk? Well, the season snapshot, and Ben, you alluded to this. This is where the reset button has to happen with the hitters at the plate.
Yeah, the Orioles continue to hit home runs. You see an 8th place in home runs, but runners in scoring position, I think that's the big one for me. The starters have been better than last year. Not great, but better. Bullpen good at times. But I think runners in scoring position is going to be the key.
Caleb Joseph takes ball 1.
You know, the good news, Trumbo seems to be swinging it better. You know, he's seen it a little bit better. Jonathan Scope is definitely swinging it better. Adam Jones' average is where it's always is. Now, he hadn't hit a home run in a while, but.
Good changeup, 1-1. Well, the one aspect of this lineup is that it's built on playing for that big inning. And when they don't get those big innings, it's hard to score runs. They're built so much on power.
Yeah, like a lot of the teams are. You know, there's not a lot of teams in Major League Baseball stealing a ton of bases anymore, you know, but the better teams are, you know, like the Astros, and you talk about the Red Sox. You're starting to see some guys steal a few bases. They do a good job of playing ABC type baseball, moving guys over, get them in type stuff. But the game's changed. And you're right, when you're not hitting the home runs and the big innings aren't exploding, it's tough.
Well, the Orioles last night won that 1-0 game. Well pitched. Only run came in on a sac fly. It's only their 4th win all year in a game without hitting a home run.
Yeah.
This ball's hit towards the gap. No one's out there. That ball's going to get down for a base hit. Heading to third is Rickard. He can run. He's being sent by Bobby Dickerson. There will be no relay throw home. So Caleb Joseph stays hot. There's an RBI double, and it's a 4-2 game. So that leadoff walk does haunt Mike Minor.
And speaking of swinging it better, Caleb Joseph, we saw him just a couple of nights ago, gets a basing clearing double in the gap. This time he goes in the left center field gap. And you're right, Joey Rickard with a good read off of first base. You'll see him, he's kind of trotting, he's reading that center fielder to Shields and Gallo. When he realizes nobody's going to get to it, he's off and running, and Bobby Dickerson cranks him around with the Orioles' second run of the game. And how about that base hit by Caleb Joseph?
Followed the 10-pitch walk to Joey Rickard. Here's Tim Beckham. Still nobody out. And ball one outside. Tim bounced out to shortstop, leading off in the bottom of the first.
You know, and here's a good example of ABC type baseball. Runner at second, nobody out. The question is, can Tim Beckham hit just a routine ground ball to the right side? If you can hit a routine ground ball to the right side, if it goes through the hole, that's icing on the cake, but at least move Caleb Joseph from second to third and have him there with one out.
Adam Jones did that in the game on Friday. Excuse me, Trumbo did that in the game on Friday after Adam led off with a double. So he went to third with one down, and Valencia drove him in with a sac fly.
Get him over, get him in. And when you're struggling offensively, that's when you have to do the little things right. Forget about trying to get a base hit in this situation. If it happens, great. Just move a runner.
Swings for the changeup. Mike Minor, now 30 years old. He is from Chapel Hill, Tennessee. 7th big league season. He's another Vanderbilt product.
Yeah. Had his best season with the Braves back in 2013. Went 13-9 with a 3.2 ERA.
Beckham looked like he was trying to go to the right side.
He definitely stayed inside the baseball, trying to shoot it to the right side. Look, the Orioles have scored, what, 26 games now, 1 run or less is what I have. I mean, it's tough. In 42 games, you know, 2 runs or less. So it's tough to win.
Yeah, especially in this division. Again, trying to go to right field.
Got a couple of really good at-bats in this inning by the Orioles, and that's what you want to see. You want to see compete. Go up there and compete. Joey Rickard had an outstanding at-bat. He finally worked a leadoff walk. Caleb Joseph comes up. He drives him in with a double. Now Tim Beckham is in the middle of a really good at-bat. Scott Kubal, the hitting coach of the Orioles, really likes it.
So 2-2 on Beckham. He does go to right field, but it's in the air and not that deep. Caleb will tag to draw a throw as Rua gets to it. So 1 down on the fly ball out. Our PNC inside the numbers. Now let's go within the Orioles batting order. The top 3 hitters in the lineup, Ben, have hit .263 combined, 6th best in the American League. But from cleanup spot down, all other spots just .207.
Yeah. Well, I mean, any good lineup you see, you see teams that can hit throughout 1 through 9. I mean, those are the ones that are really good ones. The good news is Caleb Joseph has come on. You know, he's been hitting in that 8 and 9 hole when he does play, and he's starting to be productive down towards the bottom. Valencia had a pretty good game yesterday. He's been swinging it pretty well as well. So they're starting to get a little bit of production. You just almost get the feeling if somebody can kind of get it going, somebody can kind of get hot, I think others will follow behind. Manny's really been the only, you know, consistent hitter in that lineup. Now, there's been some injuries along the way, you know, about the injuries to Beckham and others, and of course that always sets you back trying to find your rhythm again.
Well, Jonathan has found his stroke. And he found his stroke when he decided making contact is the way to go and hitting the ball the other way, because he was being pitched like that. He was getting himself out, and he realized it. You try to pull those outside pitches, they end up at the shortstop's glove.
Pitchers are too good, man, and you have to hit it where it's pitched. It's much easier said than done, but that's the only way to be a consistent hitter. And with the success Scope had last year, you know, sometimes you need to hit that reset button.
Here's our StatCast powered by AWS, and there's the direction and percentages where Jonathan hits the ball on the ground. 2-1 on him with Joseph at second base. There's a real good take. Wouldn't chase the changeup. So 3-1. There's the hits by direction. 18 to right field, and 9 of those have been recently during the surge he's on. Line drive and a base hit to left field. Joseph had to hold up to make sure that got past the shortstop, so he gets to third, and Jonathan Schoop is on with a base hit.
Boy, this one was not exactly hitting it where it's pitched. If you watch the location of this, it's a changeup, though. It's kind of up and away. Jonathan Schoop strong enough. He goes out and watch him circle this ball and find the barrel and hits a dart right in that 5-hole. Caleb Joseph thinks about it but shuts it down. But sometimes on an off-speed pitch, you have time to go around and circle it. And certainly in that situation, that's exactly what Schoop did. Orioles here first and third, and still just one out here in the bottom of the third inning.
Well, Jonathan all smiles after a base hit. Here's Manny, who jumped on the first pitch he saw in the first inning and hit it out to left field for his 24th home run. Ball one inside. Very good numbers with runners in scoring position. That's how you pick up 65 RBIs before the All-Star break.
Well, he's top 10 in the league in what, 7 different offensive categories, and just continues to have a good season.
And he has a very good batting eye. He's drawn 44 walks while striking out only 51 times. That's a good percentage. 13 out of 20. There's Caleb at third. Jonathan Schoop at first. Only one down. On the outside corner, 2-1. Now the one thing with Manny, he and Adam Jones, who's on deck, they are the team leaders in bouncing into double plays, and that's what Minor's looking for here.
You see where Minor's keeping it right down at the bottom of the knees on the outside part of the plate, trying to get Manny maybe to roll over it, get that 6-4-3 tight ground ball. Looks like he's going with a fastball away again. We'll see if Manny can stay on it and drive it the other way.
Outside ball 3. Now let's get a look at the sacrifice fly probability. Gallo's way back there. Wow. And he has a good arm. Shields likes to play deep. He has the speed to come in, and Rua in right. So anything behind that green, probability is you should score on a sac fly. Hey, Schoop's going to love that. Keeping him close. Doesn't have a steal all year.
Doesn't have a steal. Orioles don't steal many bases. Only 35 stolen bases on the season for the Orioles. That's 12th best out of 15 teams.
Now Manny may have taken that pitch earlier in the at-bat, but those 2 borderline strikes in the outside corner, he wasn't taking chances.
Yeah, and that, you know, you don't see Manny swing at that ball. That ball's probably what, 3 or 4 balls off the outside corner. That's one, you know, the maturing process of a young hitter. You know, Manny's been in the league since 2012, and
Ricardo Rodriguez getting loose,
getting more familiar with the strike zone, more consistent, more patient at the plate.
and he draws the walk. So Manny gets on, and that loads the bases.
Yeah, Minor really wanting to challenge Manny in that situation. Manny took him deep the first pitch. He saw a fastball right down the middle, ends up throwing him a 3-2 changeup.
Doug Brocail, the pitching coach, is going to come out for a chat. Buy some time for Rodriguez in the bullpen. So Minor has walked 2 in this inning, and you know, you wonder how much the 10-pitch at bat that Joey Rickard had leading off the inning, how much that takes out of a pitcher.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that's something Minor doesn't normally do. I mean, he only had 22 walks on the season, and you know, roughly 100 innings pitched going in. So walks is something he's been able to avoid this year, and he's been really good at it. Same thing last year, only 22 walks last year and roughly 78 innings pitched. So he's a strike thrower. You could tell he wasn't too concerned about walking Manny, though. I mean, he's okay with loading the bases with 1 out. He'll try to get his ground ball from Adam Jones. As you mentioned, Adam Jones and Manny Machado have a tendency from time to time to ground into some double plays.
Well, there is no doubt about it that every meeting with pitchers before a series this year, number 13's name comes up. Don't let him beat you.
That's exactly right. And why would you? I mean, he's been the only consistent thing out there for the Orioles this year, so why would you let the other team's best player beat you in that situation?
Line drive and a base hit to left field for Adam Jones. That's going to tie the game at least. Manny's hitting the third. He's being waved in, and he's going to come all the way around the score. Adam Jones clears the bases, and the Orioles have the lead. Jumping on the first pitch.
How about Jonesy? Another ambush. This time it's an off-speed pitch. Body gets a little bit out in front of that slider, but the hands stay back, and watch him find the barrel right over to third baseman Profar. There was no doubt 2 runs were going to score. The only question is, could Manny get all the way around from first all the way down? You see him, he's a good jump coming around second base. Take a look at Bobby Dickerson at the bottom of your screen. He's cranking Manny around, and he easily makes it. And the Orioles take a lead, and what a third inning it's been for the Orioles as they push across 4 runs so far here in the third.
So his 26 double drives in 3, and he's in scoring position. Still only 1 down. Ball 1 to Trumbo. Mark pop foul to the first baseman Guzman, his first at bat. Well, 5 has been the magic number, if you will, for the Orioles. When they score at least 5 runs, they've gone 19-10. So for a team that is 27-69, 42 below 500, they're actually 9 above when they score 5 runs, and that shows you how tough it's been to score.
Score runs, that's right.
Just 29 of the games all year, 5 or more. Foul back. 1-1 on Trumbo. Manny and Scope talking it over. Zach Britton still on the desk. There's Austin Wynns. He's back with the team. Came back yesterday. A 4-run inning. Outside, ball 2. Mike Minor has 50 big league wins. He is 50-47. And this year he has pitched much better at home. And the ballpark in Arlington was really it's a hitter's park, but his ERA at home is 3.54. On the road it's 6.31.
Wow.
So it's almost 3 runs a game higher on the road. Doug Bokel, the pitching coach, his staff is 12th in the league in team pitching. There's the skipper Jeff Bannister.
Yeah, the starters have struggled for the Rangers, but the bullpen has been really good. One of the top 10 in all of Major League Baseball.
Chop foul down the line. Minor, it's only his 4th appearance against the Orioles in his career, and just the 2nd game at Camden Yards, and he has no decisions and he had no ERA until today. In fact, his only appearance at Camden Yards, he pitched 1 inning in relief. A 2-2 on Trumbo. Defensive swing, and he gets a piece of it.
But you know what I like what the Orioles are doing today? They seem more competitive at the plate. A lot of long at bats, a lot of fouling some tough pitches off, really competing at the plate.
Adam Jones picking up the 3 RBI double. Joey Rickard got it started with a 10-pitch walk.
Yeah, we saw Chris Davis last inning actually throw the bat at a couple balls just to stay alive. Joey Rickard had an outstanding at bat.
Foul back again.
And that's what you try to do. Just try to hang on and foul some tough pitches off until maybe, just maybe, Mike Minor might make a mistake and leave something out over the plate like he did to Caleb Joseph, like he did to Adam Jones.
So this will be the 8th pitch to Trumbo. And this will be for Mike Minor, his 41st pitch this inning.
Yeah, 65 overall, and that pitch count's starting to get up too.
Now the Orioles have only 1 left-hander in the lineup, so I'm sure Jeff Bannister won't just leave Minor in there to get through Chris Davis, because Valencia is on deck and Davis is behind him.
Right. You know, and Minor may not, you know, he hadn't really gone over 100 pitches a whole lot this year. They're kind of keeping an eye on his innings and his pitch count, for that matter, because again, he was a bullpen guy the whole season last year. Was Mike Minor for Kansas City, threw 77 innings out of the bullpen, 65 appearances, not a start. So he's kind of working his way, you know, after what, 4 years now, back into that starting rotation. But it's been a good first half for him. Right at 100 innings pitched now.
This will be the 10th pitch to Mark Trumbo. Popped him up. Again wide of first. Here's Guzman. And right near the coach's box, he puts it away. And 2 men down with Jones staying at second. And here comes Bannister. So we're going to have a pitching change here in the third, as Minor will leave after 43 pitches here in the third inning. And still only 2 down. So Minor will leave. Ricardo Rodriguez comes on in the third inning. Very, very muggy, and there's the line for Mike Minor.
Yeah, I tell you what, pitched the first couple innings were really good, but the Orioles really got to him in the third inning. It all began. Joey Rickards at bat and works a leadoff walk, and Orioles finally get to him. 5 earned runs. Of course, he's responsible for the runners on base as well. Only 68 pitches, but 44 for strikes for Mike Minor today. Ricardo Rodriguez will be the reliever. You see, not a whole lot of action at the big league level so far this season, only making his 3rd appearance. 3 1/3 innings pitched, 6 hits. Opponents hitting .429 off of him.
He was recalled on July the 5th, so he's only been here for about 10 days. 2nd time with the club this year. So he'll face Danny Valencia with Jones at second and 2 down. Danny was robbed of a base hit his first at bat by a diving stop by JURICKSON PROFAR at third base. Well, only one chance, but it's good to succeed. 1 out of 1. It's a good looking fastball at 95. Rodriguez is from Venezuela, just 25 years old. Adam leads off second. Off speed pitch floats in there, 1 and 2. Yeah, that's how it's gone for Danny as of late. He's now 4 for his last 41, and he's robbed of a base hit. Just outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Valencia. Tough day for Mike Minor. His team gave him a 4-0 lead before he even took the mound, and he can't hold it.
Boy, those are the toughest ones to swallow, too. I mean, runs are been hard to come by for both of these teams and all these starting pitchers on both of these squads. And boy, when you get staked to a 4-run lead in the first inning, it is hard not to hang around.
Profar backs up to play the hop. Throws low and past Guzman, and a run is going to score. Jones comes in as Profar throws it away. So the Orioles add a run, and it's a 6-4 Oriole lead.
Well, going to be an error all day long. Right there, you saw Profar retreated, and once he retreated, he never really got his momentum going towards first base. Makes a bad throw, and the first baseman Guzman, who has struggled at times defensively in this series, could not come up with the short hop. Ball gets by him, really not even close. Good break for the Orioles as they get a 2-run lead now, up 6-4. That's the thing about the Rangers. Defensively, they have struggled this year. Dead last in the American League in fielding percentage, and it showed up here.
Chris Davis, as the Orioles bat around, swings through strike one. So the inning should have been over. But not only does it continue, the Orioles have added at least 1 run and could add more. 6 unanswered runs for the Orioles.
Well, if you're Orioles, you'll take the runs any way you can. I mean, they've averaged, what, only about 3.5 runs per game so far in the first half. They've almost doubled up on that so far today.
Line drive to center field. That's in for a base hit. Now that's a good looking swing from Chris Davis. Taking it straight up the middle.
That was a really good swing by Chris Davis. Loved the way he stayed on this baseball with his front shoulder. Didn't pull off. Watch him stay right on it. Head down. Barrel straight to the ball. That's a really good piece of hitting. If Chris Davis can have that kind of approach and those types of swings in the second half, he's going to make a little bit of noise for the Orioles. I love the way he stays gap to gap, trying to hit it right back up the middle.
Well, 2 on with 2 down for Joey Rickard, who began this inning with a 10-pitch walk. Change up for a strike. This is the first time that the Orioles have seen Ricardo Rodriguez. He did get into 16 games last year with the big club. That ball's hit to right center field. Rua on the run, and he's there for the out. Good speed out there in right field. Well, Adam Jones came through with a big bases loaded double. He clears the bases, 3 RBIs, and the Orioles now with a 6-4 lead.
All-star jersey right before the game, and boy, he didn't disappoint. First ball, fastball hunting in that first at bat, and he hits a solo home run, 110 miles per hour off the bat. And oh yeah, he can beat you other ways too. Adam Jones with a base hit down the left field line. Manny comes all the way around from first base and grabs another gear coming around third, and he 3 RBIs. Adam Jones knocks in on that. The Orioles have a 6-4 lead here in the top of the 4th inning. And Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save.
Do you think they deliver?
I tell you what, that's looking pretty good, huh?
Sure
You
is.
can almost smell it from here.
Through your monitor? Man,
Yeah.
you're good. Ball 1 to Ryan Rua. So this sets up for something to watch as we play out the remainder of this game. Tanner Scott is now the pitcher of record. Tanner Scott still does not have a big league win. So if the Orioles hang on here, they will win for the first time in the major leagues. And Miguel Castro off the hook after the grand slam in the first inning. So his first start of the year, second in his career. There's Mike Wright getting loose. Second time he's been up. Rua, Gallo, and Kiner Falefa here for Texas in the 4th. Slider for a strike. Tanner Scott had a rough night on Friday in the opening game in this series. Swing and a miss. He got him. What a slider. That's the thing about him, Ben, and power pitch wise, he can get it up to 100 miles an hour, but the slider is going to become the out pitch.
Yeah, I mean, he's up to 98, so you got to get your foot down, and when he can do that, that's not fair. If you're standing in the batter's box, that'll hurt your feelings when he can break off a slider like that. Ryan Rua, no chance of getting that one. Yeah, that's what's going to make him special. I mean, you know about the fastball. It's above average fastball, and it's from the left side. But that pitch, that slider of his, that's going to be the difference maker.
There's a chopper weakly hit. Scope will have to hurry. Nope, it's Manny. The flip throw is not in time. And a collision between Gallo and Chris Davis. And Gallo took the worst of it.
Yeah, that's 2 big men banging into it right there. Gallo's not a small guy. And you know about Chris Davis. Look, both of them look like linebackers over there. And the question was, who was going to get to this baseball? Manny was playing in the shifts, is kind of shifted over towards second base. He gets right in front and just tries to shovel it to Davis. Not in time, and Davis has to go into Joey Gallo, and there's a big-time collision right there.
So that'll be an infield base hit for Gallo, and that's going to do it for Tanner Scott. And this collision, Gallo, now the trainers are checking him out. Ooh,
that's tough. Those are 2 guys, both about 230 pounds or better.
So Mike Wright comes on here in the 4th. Scott exits with 1 on. This collision, and man, he got hit, looked like in the face, and then he went down and landed on his shoulder.
Yeah. That's double right there. Watch Davis's right elbow right there gets him in the face, and his right jaw right there, and then a really tough fall. I think the back of his head hit the ground too as he hit the ground.
And here's Mike Wright against Kiner Falefa, the catcher.
There's Mike Wright Jr.'s numbers. You see him making his 25th appearance. He does have 2 starts. Record's 2-0. 49 innings pitched, 60 hits. Opponents hitting .308 off of him.
Ball 2. Kiner Falefa, the backup catcher on this team, a 23-year-old rookie. He is from Honolulu. There's a strike, 2-1. More rain coming down. Very humid in downtown. And that's taken low. So 3-1 the count. Well, Mike Wright has really done a good job to lower his ERA. In his last 16 appearances, Ben, he has pitched to an ERA of 1.91. After his appearance on May 12th against Tampa Bay, his ERA was 9.15.
Wow, he has pitched it well as of late.
Popped him up. Manny backs out, calls off Rickard, and he's got it, 2 down. And back to first goes Gallo. We invite you to join us for a Birdland Social presented by GBMC Healthcare Tuesday, July 24th. It is prior to the 7:05 game against Boston. Special ticket packages to this exclusive pregame party on the center field roof deck include a Q&A with Tim Beckham. This is my Swaggy T t-shirt you'll get and a game ticket. For tickets, Orioles.com/BirdlandSocial.
A Swaggy T t-shirt?
Yeah, that's his Twitter handle.
I like it. Swaggy T.
He's a great guy to talk to as well. Here's the Shields, and he'll take a strike.
Yeah, I was talking to him in the dugout a couple of days ago about the transition from short to third, and he said, look, it's a struggle for me right now. He said, I can take all the fungos, and I've taken 1,000 of them at third base, but he said, you really don't get a true reaction until you take enough balls off the bat, and that's just going to take time for him getting used to being over there. Just reps is what he needs. Because you've seen him in this series alone, just since I've been here, you know, kind of hesitant on some balls. Some he takes a step back on. Sometimes he'll come and get one. He said at shortstop, it was all about reading the bounces. You know, at third base now, it's about reaction for me.
Yeah, if you read bounces at third base, the ball's by you.
That's right.
Well, and the instincts at shortstop, obviously he played shortstop his entire career. So you don't really have to think about it. Whereas at third base, he has to think about it.
That's right.
Manny's done the transition the opposite way. Came up a shortstop, moved to third base to come to the big leagues, and now back at his natural position. Of course, when J.J. Hardy was here, Manny didn't even think of moving over. That's how much respect they had for Hardy. But now that J.J.'s retired, Manny slides back over to short.
Yeah, and Manny's made it quite clear, you know, that if he is traded, he'll go to a contender and or wherever, and he'll play third base if they need him to. He don't mind going back to third. He'd rather stay at short if he could, but you know, depending on where you go, if you got a chance to get into the World Series, hey, you'll play anywhere they tell you to play.
Well, and it was interesting the way he worded that. Well, I have no choice, do I?
That's right.
Well, if they trade for him to play third base,
that's where
now as a free agent,
that's
he
a
has
different
a
story.
choice. Yeah,
that's right.
So this offseason, he could pick a team. And he got him. So the Shields goes down on strikes, and that'll end the inning. An infield hit and one left. We head to the bottom of the fourth. The Orioles with a 6-4 lead. What drives you? Visit buyatoyota.com for great deals. Well, as you can see, the rain has intensified. Nicole Sherry is out on the field with the crew chief, Bill Welke. The grounds crew is in position if they're told to put the tarp on the field. The Rangers believe that's going to happen. They are leaving the field. And it looks as if we're about to have a rain delay.
Yeah, when Nicole brings the iPad out, it's never a good thing. She's basically showing them the radar.
I still haven't seen Bill Welke signal to the grounds crew to bring the tarp out. And
There
now
we
he
go.
did.
Nope, maybe not.
So Nicole,
Ready, set, go.
there we go. Now the word has gone down.
They have done that once or twice before, hadn't they? That was pretty good.
So the tarp goes on the field, and we will have a rain delay here in the final game before the All-Star break in the 4th inning, as the Orioles looking to get 2 out of 3 from Texas. And welcome into the booth Jim Hunter and Ben McDonald today. And if this was a starting pitcher still in the game, you'd say, oh, that's too bad.
Right.
Because now he's going to have to sit around a little bit, although it looks like the rain is lightening up. But because it was a bullpen day, not as much of an issue.
Not an issue at all for the Orioles. Not at all. You know, so you can bring in anybody you want to. And, of course, the starter's out. Mike Minor's out for the Rangers as well. So it comes down to the bullpens at this point, you know. But offense has been hard to come by for both of these clubs, but not so far today. You know, Rangers out early with a grand slam in the first. Orioles come back with a big 5 spot there in the 3rd inning. So Orioles up 6-4 here in the 4th inning.
Now, let me ask you about the mindset of the players. This is the final game, traditionally the first half. I mean, it's game 97, so
Sure.
they played more than half their games already. But the mindset of this day, knowing you're going on vacation right after the game, is it tough to stay focused or not?
Yeah, a little bit. But again, these guys are professionals. You know, it's been tough all year for the Orioles. There's no doubt about staying focused. But yeah, most of these guys have, you know, airplane trips set up. They're going home. They're going to see their family. They're going to hit the reset button in the offseason. They're looking forward to their time off. But I think they're also excited about evening the series last night, a chance to win this series. And again, it'd be their first win of a series in 6 series. So it's about building a little bit of momentum for the Orioles right now. So I think they would have a much better All-Star break if they win this game today.
All right, so with the Orioles leading at 6-4, rain delay here in the 4th, we're going to send you to alternate programming, and then we'll be back at the top of the hour or sooner if the tarp comes off the field. Rain delay at Camden Yards, 6-4 Birds.
Frank was, of course, the manager there for a while. It was really cool for me.
So we are set to resume here. There's Brooksy's number, one of the retired numbers. There are 6 Oriole numbers retired, and of course Jackie Robinson's as well. So Ricardo Rodriguez, who came on and eventually got the final out in the 3rd, he stays on. Here's Caleb Joseph to lead off. O's with a 6-4 lead, and there's a strike. Caleb an RBI double in the big 3rd inning when the Orioles scored 5. There's a ball hit towards short, backhanded there by Andrews. Nicely done. Another low throw. This one scooped out. Nice play by Guzman on the back end and 1 away. He's having a tough time over there with these low throws. So both starters long gone. Castro getting a spot start, goes 2 2/3. Minor, who's in the rotation, lasts only 2 2/3. Here's Tim Beckham, bouncer to second. Odor waits on the hop. Beckham retired and 2 quick outs. And Tim is 0 for 3. Rodriguez, one of 5 right-handers in the Texas bullpen. They have 2 left-handers. Here's Jonathan Schoop. He contributed in the rally in the 3rd with a single. Fastball misses high, 1-0. Now the Orioles looking for a win to have a 500 homestand. They're 3-4 on this 8-game homestand, which began with a doubleheader against the Yankees on Monday. Ball 2. Chase Peterson is on deck, and that is Manny Machado's spot. And the 2-0 is fouled back. Rodriguez came on and faced Danny Valencia last inning. Valencia reached on a throwing error by Profar that allowed the inning to continue. Davis then singled, and then he got Rickard on a fly ball to end it. Knocked down by Ricardo Rodriguez. He saves a base hit, and he throws out Schoop. And on a 7-pitch inning for Ricardo Rodriguez, the Orioles go 3 up, 3 down in the 4th.
Hashtag hats off for heroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
A 6-4 game. Orioles trail 4-0 before they even batted. And defensive changes. Tim Beckham moves over to shortstop. He was at 3rd. And Jace Peterson takes over for Manny Machado. Peterson at 3rd with Beckham moving to short. And of course, with all the trade rumors involving Manny Machado, you instantly think, uh-oh, what's going on.
It's
but it
happened,
could
right?
be it's a wet field. They just don't want to risk the possibility of Manny getting hurt.
And that's probably what it is. I mean, the grounds crew did an outstanding job. It looks like it's dry.
Here's SHIN-SOO CHOO. He has walked and hit a comebacker. And there's a strike. Yeah, if you're the Orioles and you have teams calling Dan Duquette, offering different trade packages, the last thing you need is Manny getting hurt.
That's exactly right, and you're right. Field could be, the grass could be a little bit wet, and why take a chance?
Top of the lineup here for Texas in the 5th. Now back. Mike Wright, the 3rd pitcher used. Castro, a spot start, went 2 2/3. He was hurt by 3 walks in the 1st inning. And Ronald Guzman then hit a grand slam for a quick 4-0 lead.
Yeah, but you know what? It was ugly at first, but I mean, once he did give up the grand slam, he retired the next 7 batters he faced. Looked much better. He started to get ahead of a few guys. But got to his pitch count of 60 pitches really pretty quick. A lot of 3-2 counts mixed in there.
Here's Dan Duquette returning somebody's text message.
Yeah, he's having to keep that phone charged up pretty regular these days.
Tripp, his assistant, Tripp Norton. They are working very, very hard. This is a very busy time. That's a bloop to center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Adam will play it on a hop. So CHOO is on. And a leadoff single here in the 5th inning. On Wednesday, July 25th, the Orioles welcome you and your best furry friend for a day at Oriole Park. Bark at Oriole Park ticket packages include the unique opportunity to bring your dog to an Orioles game, plus an Orioles-themed doggy bow tie with a portion of the proceeds benefiting Barks. Now, tickets are selling fast, so visit Orioles.com/bark. That's going to be a lot of fun. There's Michael Gibbons with his dog.
Yeah.
Bring your pup to the ballpark. Buy your dog a hot dog.
My dog would definitely eat a hot dog, or maybe a handful of hot dogs.
Elvis Andrus now 1 on, none out. Shows bunt, pulls the bat back. They appeal, and he did pull it back. And fastball right there at the knees. That looked like his cutter. Yeah, it's been a very interesting season watching Mike Wright because his velocity's been all over the place. There are times when he stays in the low 90s, and then we've seen him hit this year 97, which he hit regularly when he first came up. I mean, does a cut fastball take some velocity away from a pitcher?
I think it can if you throw it too much. Like if you settle on it and throw it as much as your fastball, because the fastball is what develops all your arm strength, you know, throwing your fastball. Now, out of necessity, a lot of guys will pick up a cut fastball because they're having trouble maybe getting the ball to the outside part of the plate if they're a right-handed pitcher versus a right-handed hitter. So you come up with something out of necessity to try to get guys out. But just today, I mean, we've seen the fastball anywhere from 89 to 95, which is that one is. You know, now he throws a 2-seam too, and of course the 2-seam fastball will have a little bit more movement and a little less velocity than the 4-seamer. So it's a good variation, which, you know, it's not all bad to be in that difference, you know. You don't ever want to be the same speed with your fastball every time. Hitters tend to, you know, time it up.
Roger McDowell looking on from the Orioles bench. There's another base hit. Softly hit the other way. Trumbo in on it, so back-to-back singles. So the tying runs are on with nobody out.
Yeah, and he's missed a couple spots here lately. That's where it's coming in at. I mean, you could clearly see Caleb Joseph looked like he had set up down and away. That ball kind of ran down and in. It's almost the game's gotten now where velocity matters, but it doesn't matter that much because guys are turning around 97 and 98 these days like it's nothing. So it still boils down to command. Can you stay out of the middle of the plate? Can you stay down when you want to? Elevate when you need to?
There's Profar, who worked a walk in the 4-run first inning. Getting a start at third base today, so Adrian Beltre can get the day off. Mike Rick could sure use a double play ball here. Peterson even with the bag at third. Profar can bunt. Get good speed. Softly hit. This could be two. Scope out there. Back to first and a double play. Wow, that was some play by Scope because Andrus was almost about to barrel into him. And still able to get that ball away to first to complete it.
Love this. I mean, a lot of English on that ball. He quickly catches it, steps across the bag, and really a nice play by Chris Davis. He scoops it out of the dirt over at first base. But watch this pick. A lot of English on that ball, all in one motion, catches and throws. And you forget Jonathan Scope, as big as he is, 6'4", 225 pounds. The way he moves over at second base is really good. And Chris Davis does a nice job finishing that.
And what was the key of that play is he didn't try to overthrow. He knew he had time, so he made it a true throw. So the runner CHOO ends up at third for ODOR. Upstairs, ball one. ODOR 1 out of 2. He singled into the shift, a slowly hit ground ball that Jonathan fielded in right field, but he couldn't throw him out. See the shift on against ODOR with Beckham now the shortstop playing up the middle. On the second base side. Real good change up there, 1-1.
Yeah, Wright's got a good one. It's a circle change. You see the action on that pitch kind of running down and away from ODOR.
You know, to me, it's amazing that that pitch can be effective because that's the one pitch you know it's coming. He telegraphs it. You could see him slow down his arm speed. It looks so different from his fastballs and his cutter. And there's a good looking fastball there. The 1-2, 94 miles an hour.
Well, if he is telegraphing it, it won't be long and the hitters are going to pick it up and they're going to wear it out. The changeup has kind of evolved over the years. Used to be a changeup was a pitch that you threw as a pitcher, maybe in a fastball count. Not really to swing and miss, just to get maybe contact, but off the barrel somewhere.
And he struck him out.
Really good pitch by Caleb Joseph. Wanted that ball up in the air. Joseph did as a catcher. Boy, look where Wright perfectly places that one. Orioles up 6-4 going into the bottom of the fifth.
The day. And by Visit Annapolis, create your moment at visitannapolis.org. Some puddles outside after the rain, but dry at the moment. 6-4 game with the Orioles in front. As the Birds try to make it back-to-back wins to go into the break. Here's Jace Peterson, his first at-bat. Slices it to left field and hangs up there for Gallo. So 1 pitch, 1 down. Peterson retired. He is in Manny's spot in the Orioles lineup. Well, don't forget the Orioles are hosting Tampa Bay on Thursday, July 26th through Sunday, July 28th. And on Thursday, the 26th, all fans receive a retro Swinging Bird t-shirt. So come on out and join us. Don't miss out. For your tickets, Orioles.com. That's a nice looking shirt. That little girl has on a cheerleading outfit. How about that? It's very well done. Yeah, I remember when Allie was that small.
Doesn't take long, does it?
Adam had the big blow in the 3rd inning, the 3-run double. It gave the Orioles the lead. Quick pitch, bounced to short. Andrews gets his man, and 2 away. For every Orioles walk, CareFirst Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society Light the Night Walk. Now, the O's have drawn 263 walks for a total of $13,150. CareFirst encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and a more active lifestyle. So 2 quick outs. Here's Trumbo. And a strike on the corner. Mark twice has hit foul pop-ups to the first baseman Guzman. Rodriguez from Venezuela. He's on a relief of Mike Minor. He's retired 6 in a row. That ball's hit towards the gap. Nobody's there, and that's going to roll a long way. It's going to go all the way to the wall. And Trumbo's going to cruise to second base with a 2-out double. So to the left center gap, and Trumbo's on.
Yeah, just a fastball on the outside part of the plate. It looked like the Shields, the center fielder for the Rangers, kind of shaded more towards right center field. Left fielder Gallo was pulled towards the line, and so you get a fly ball straight away left center field gap, and Mark Trumbo easily makes it into second base.
RBI chance for Danny Valencia. He reached on an error in the 3rd, and Adam Jones scored on that throwing error by Profar. Fly ball to right. That's playable for Ryan Rua. And he's got it. So a 7-pitch inning, a 2-out double, a man left. We are through 5 at Camden Yards. Birds have a 2-run lead. Assistance Program for Survivors, or TAPS. Carol is a 2015 recipient of the Presidential Medal of Freedom. She's a military veteran and a former White House staffer. Now, she founded TAPS following the death of her husband, Brigadier General Tom Carroll, in an Army C-12 plane crash back in November of 1992. TAPS, the leading national military service organization, provides assistance and 24/7, 365 days a year emotional support for anyone that is impacted by the death of a military loved one. And as you saw, Bonnie was able to meet with some of the Orioles here today. So a nicely worded day here in a big group with her group from TAPS meeting here today. So congratulations to Bonnie Carroll. Here's Ronald Guzman leading off in the 6th. Wright falls behind 2-0. McRae came on with 1 on and 1 down in the 4th inning. He did allow a couple of base hits in the 5th, but the double play helped him out. Falls behind 3-1 on Guzman with Rua on deck, and then Gallo. Guzman, the grand slam back in the 1st. He has since struck out. So that is Corey Guerin, who is getting loose.
Yeah, Guerin got in last night's game for the Rangers.
Another well-placed fastball by Mike Wright.
Yeah, there's some deception there, too. If you watch Wright, he throws across his body just a little bit, you know, hides the baseball, so you can see why he has some success. And that fastball anywhere from 89 up to 95. Caleb Joseph on the inside corner. Boy, a good pitch delivered right there. You can see, watch where that left foot is going to land. Throws across the body just a little bit. Kind of spun off, landed on his heel on that one. Watch Caleb Joseph down the outside corner.
And he struck him out, a high fastball at 95.
Yeah, so a good sequence. So you get a fastball inside to get to 2 strikes, and then right on the outside part of the plate elevates that fastball at 95. So maybe a little bit extra for Guzman. He couldn't catch up. Fastball in, fastball away.
So for Guzman, it's been all or nothing. A grand slam and a couple of strikeouts. Ryan Rua fouls it back. There's Manny on the bench, so looks like he was taken out for precaution on the wet turf.
Yeah.
So we can end that speculation.
End those rumors, huh?
Well, they're going to be out there anyway. And a day doesn't go by where you don't hear about a team sweetening its offer or trying to include this prospect or that prospect. Of course, Manny's heading to the All-Star game right after this game today. Drive down to Washington.
You know, it's been amazing to me that he's been able to keep up his level of play even through all the speculation and rumors and where he may or may not go. Hadn't affected him at all on the field.
Base hit over the glove of Beckham. Nice try. It just did elude his glove on the leaping try.
Yeah, Rua gets this one right on the barrel. Good swing right there. See how he stayed back and finding Beckham goes up the ladder, and I mean just got over his glove.
I thought I had it.
He's like, I don't know how I missed that.
Well, it was 102 miles an hour off the bat. That's probably how.
It looked like an, you're right. I think by the time he reached the apex of his jump, the highest point, the ball had just gotten past him.
Here's Joey Gallo. Gallo has bounced out to Chris Davis, and he's also singled. A slow ground ball against the shift, and the shift is on again with Peterson on the shortstop side and Beckham on the second base side. Ball and a strike on Joey Gallo. Mike Wright has really turned it around, and he's become a valuable person in the Orioles bullpen because he has the ability, Ben, to eat up innings. And you have to have somebody like Mike Wright in your bullpen.
No doubt. Got to have somebody that can chew them up down there. A long reliever can come in and give you 4 or 5 innings, and Wright quite capable, been a starter his whole career, so he can certainly do that.
You know, and it's not a role that I would guess you would aspire to have, but it's a valuable role on a team. And especially, as we've seen the past few years, a contending team.
That's right. But if you'd go ask him, would you rather be a starter in AAA or a long reliever in the big leagues? And I think we know what the answer would be.
Absolutely. The 1-2 to Gallo, swung on and lifted to center field. Not that deep. Actually, it's slicing now to left, and Rickard's going to take it.
Another nice pitch executed. So strike out ODOR to end the 5th inning on an elevated fastball. This time Caleb Joseph gets the target up again when he gets ahead in the count. And Mike Wright perfectly places that fastball just up top of the strike zone, and Joey Gallo couldn't do anything with it but fly out.
After that play, Adam Jones was critiquing Joey Rickard's route to the ball. That was funny to see. So 2 down now with Brua back to first, and here is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and a strike.
Kiner-Falefa. Can you imagine writing that on your school papers every day?
With the hyphen.
Yeah.
Young man from Honolulu, 23-year-old rookie. The Rangers are well into their rebuild. They still have obviously several veterans that they count on, but Jeff Bannister has several rookies that are getting a lot of playing time. You have Guzman at first base, and now Kiner-Falefa, who's a utility man, but he's also now the backup catcher.
Yeah, Kiner-Falefa, one of 4 current major leaguers, born in Hawaii. Not many of them.
And the other 3 are?
Kurt Suzuki, Kirby Yates, and Colton Wong are the other 3.
Colton Wong of the Cardinals.
Yep.
Perfect pitch on the corner.
So it's been mostly fastballs by Mike Wright. He's been able to elevate some fastballs up in the zone when he's got to this count. This time Caleb Joseph rocks to the outside corner.
Oh, that's a good job of hitting there. Inside out swinging, a base hit to right. Stopping at second is Ruiz. So Mike Wright has now allowed 4 hits. This one comes with 2 down. And again, he was working away, so that's a good approach.
Yeah, 1 ball, 2 strike count, and Caleb Joseph wanted it away. I don't know if he quite got it all the way away, but regardless, a really good piece of hitting right there. Kiner-Falefa stayed right there inside the baseball and drove it the other way.
Here's the line of the Shields. The center fielder is 0 for 2. One's foul. He had Peterson deep. Peterson's quick, though. He can get in on the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Shields, the number 9 batter. He's the 5th batter to come up here in the 6th inning. Foul back, 0-2. Shields was born in Easton, Maryland. It's his 4th season. The Rangers got him from the Houston Astros in the Rule 5 draft for the 2015 season. And he's in his 4th year with the Rangers. He was the opening day center fielder in 2016 as a rookie. Of course, his dad played 13 years in the major leagues. Had a 2.5-year stint with the Orioles late in his career. Like right about to throw his 50th pitch since coming on in relief. Line right to scope. Jonathan was going backwards very slowly on that. Ram Do-Ups brought to you by Ram Trucks. Experience the power and toughness of Ram at your local dealer or log on to ramtrucks.com to get to work. Guts, glory, Ram. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. And she is the Orioles' #1 fan. How do we know that? She told us. A lot of youngsters here on this Sunday afternoon, and back to the bullpen go the Rangers, and here is Corey Guerin.
Yeah, Corey Guerin's making his 38th appearance of the year. See the record 1-1, very good ERA. Does have a save, 32 and 2/3 inning pitch, strikeout per inning, 33 punch outs on the year for the right-hander. Opponents hitting only .264 against him. Saw him last night. Fastball's going to be up to about 95 miles an hour. Good changeup and a breaking ball as well.
Texas got him from the San Francisco Giants on July the 8th, so he's only been with the Rangers a couple of outings. They'll face Chris Davis to lead off here in the 6th. Rickard and Joseph will follow. Ball one outside. Davis a single to center field his last at bat, so he's 1 out of 2. Ball 2 outside. Like right to Miguel Castro. Miguel started the game. Spot start. And now he's getting to hang out with the starters.
Yeah.
There on the bench. Old foul, look out, Wayne Kirby. Nice job by the ball girl down there.
Yeah, this thing's blistered down that right field line. Hooking, watch out.
It went right over his head.
Yeah, he just kind of threw his hands up like, please don't hit me.
Wow. 2-1 on Chris Davis. 2-2. Guerin drafted by the Atlanta Braves originally, 4th round back in 2007, out of Mercer University in Macon, Georgia. He's a native of Tennessee. Save some money on haircuts. Breaking ball, got him looking.
Oh, that was a good pitch there. That's going to get most anybody. A little backdoor breaking ball. Watch him start this thing almost in the other batter's box, and he just comes back and just nips the outside corner. As a hitter, you see it out there. You see it off the plate. You give up on it just enough, and then it leaks back over the outside corner.
So Chris has struck out twice today. Here's Joey Rickard, who may have the most important at-bat of the game. Orioles trailed at 4-1. He led off in the 3rd against the starter, Mike Minor, and he drew a 10-pitch walk to get that rally started. O's went on to score 5 runs in that 3rd inning and now have the 6-4 lead and have still held that lead. Popped them up. Who's going to take charge? Is going to be ODOR. And he's got it for the out. And 2 men down. The Orioles are proud to join Johns Hopkins, the University of Maryland, and other corporate leaders to support Baltimore City's Youth Works program, which seeks to provide as many as 12,000 Baltimore City youth with summer employment. To donate, visit BaltimoreCityFoundation.org and choose Mayor's Office of Employment Development Youth Works. And to learn more, visit youthworks.oedworks.com. Caleb Joseph. He had a big hit in the rally in the 3rd. Now Manny's hanging out with the starters. Andrew Cashner there. If they could only loosen up.
Yeah.
Guerin has the style where it doesn't look like he's ever going to throw the pitch. And again, that's all part of strategy, I guess it is. Maybe lull the hitter to sleep a little bit.
Yeah, he's on his rhythm.
Caleb waves at it, 1-2.
Yeah, Caleb's not seeing that breaking ball for sure. It's unusual motion too for Guerin. If you'll watch him in the leg kick, obviously he's out of the stretch position with nobody on base, but there's not much of a leg kick at all. Most guys, most relievers like to get a look behind the rubber a little bit. Watch how the left leg, it doesn't come up, just really picks it up just barely and goes towards home plate. But he's got that low 3/4 arm slot, and he throws that breaking ball out of that slot. It's a good one.
Doug Brocail, the pitching coach. I just don't get it. What is he staring at? I mean,
watch him. I mean, look, barely picks that left leg up.
Obviously, somewhere along the way, he developed his style, and it works for him.
He's staring somebody over in the third base, dugout. Looks like there's a good stare towards home plate. Thinks about it for an extra 5 or 6 seconds,
and he loses him. So Caleb draws a 2-out walk.
Not too good at bat for Caleb Joseph. No, he got sent down in the minor leagues, as you know, for 22 games. He got 88 at bats. Of course, never wanted to go down to the minor leagues. But he said, you know what? I took it serious. And he said, I changed my swing down there. He said, I shortened my swing. I felt like I was swinging and missing too much. So he said, I got rid of the extra movement that I had. I kept my hands a lot quieter. I was going to work on things. And he hit well in AAA and came back up. And since coming back up, he's been very productive.
Here's Tim Beckham. And it's over but low. Well, he's batting .346, Caleb, in his last 9 games. He's 9 for his last 26. So
I like that about him, though. You know, he didn't feel sorry for himself and say, why me? Why'd I get sent down? He went to work when he got down there. And that's what it takes. Even the veteran guys go to work, get better, find a way to get better every day.
Caleb takes off, and why not? Throw to second base, not in time. So the catcher steals a base because Guerin is so deliberate to the plate.
Yeah, Guerin doing the same routine, runner on, runner not on base, and Caleb Joseph off and running. He times it up perfectly, although he's not extremely fast, and easily gets into second base.
So his first career stolen base.
That'll tell you something.
So a chance for 2-out RBI for Beckham. Breaking ball in there, 2-1. That is the 5th steal against Corey Guerin, and catchers have not yet caught a potential base stealer with him on the mound. And again, this deliberate style and very slow delivery to the plate, a big part of that. Off speed pitch, 2-2.
Yeah, it's almost like he's just in his own world out there. Like he's the only one out on the field playing catch. I'm just waiting for Caleb to take off again. Of course, he'll never do it. He'll never try to steal third in this situation with 2 out. But it looks like he almost could, because Guerin never even looked at him that time. Like he never even looked back at second base.
It's got to have an effect on his fielders.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. So he's not even looking at Caleb. Let's see if he takes a look back. Nope, not going to look. Now he's going to hold it for about 5 seconds and deliver it towards home plate.
Popped up. Another off-speed pitch. There's Guzman again in foul ground. He's got it. So 2-out walk and a man left. We are through 6. 6-4 O's. Straight year, Chris and Jill Davis served as ambassadors for the 9th annual race. The winners were Sherry Stick of Eldersburg, race time of 19 minutes and 17 seconds, and Evan Hardy of Towson, his race time 15 minutes and 59 seconds. Proceeds from the race will support programs for families with critically ill children. It's a wonderful organization.
Yes. Chris and Jill Davis. What'd you say the time was? That's 3.1 miles. Did you say 15 minutes? And
that's what it says on there. 15:59.
My math's not very good. I never graduated from college, but that's a pretty good pace.
It's like 5 minutes a mile, right?
Yeah, it's really good. I don't know if I could do it on a bicycle.
You never went back and got your degree?
No.
Why not?
I was playing baseball.
Oh, okay. So the off season.
Oh, no. Off season is strictly for hunting only. No education in the off season.
Here's CHOO, but you get an education out there when you're hunting.
Well, yeah, that's a different kind of education.
Street smarts. Mike Wright stays on. He's pitched really well. Fouls back. So CHOO, 1-1 on the count.
Yeah, and he's done it mostly with his fastball. He's thrown a few breaking balls, a couple of changeups we saw. But he's done mostly with his fastball. He's done a good job moving the fastball around in and out and elevated a few times for a couple of strikeouts. There's a changeup.
Paul Fry now getting loose. And in the other bullpen, there's Jesse Chavez. So for CHOO and for Manny, heading to the All-Star game, just a 35-mile drive down the BW Parkway. For all the other major leaguers coming to Washington for the All-Star game, they'll have to hop a plane. And I did notice there is no night game tonight, as there usually is Sunday Night Baseball. So that gives all of the players ample time to get here. There are 3 games on the West Coast, however. The Giants are home, the Padres are home, and the Dodgers are home. So for the 6 teams involved in those games, it'll be a long flight. Off speed pitch rolled and foul up the first base line. Well, CHOO about to see a 7th pitch, and he has that ability to foul off pitches. 14th season in the big leagues for CHOO, facing Mike Wright. And a high fly ball left center field did pretty well. That ball is back, and that ball is going to go. It carries out of here the opposite way. So CHOO battled, got one he could handle, and he hits it out for his 18th home run. And that makes it a 1-run game.
Yeah, really an impressive at bat by CHOO. In his mid-30s now, but he's having his best year as a professional. That's 18th homer and 43rd RBI of the season. Pretty impressive on the swing. Watch the body gets out in front just a little bit, but the hands stay back enough. And watch him right there. He pauses and throws the barrel at it. And I tell you what, this is going opposite field, left center field. And he gets into seats by about 4 or 5 rows.
So leadoff home run makes it a 1-run game. Here's Andrews. He swings through a cutter. CHOO now 36 years old, his 14th big league season. The Rangers gave him a 7-year contract for $130 million that still has 2 more years to go.
Wow. At least put up the numbers this year. First time an All-Star, right?
Yep, first time at the age of 36, and he's finally healthy. This will probably be Mike Wright's last batter because a switch hitter Profar is on deck, and then back-to-back lefties. And Paul Fry heating up in the bullpen. Mike Wright's done a real good job bridging the gap here. Another foul ball.
Yeah, and plenty left in the tank for Wright, too. Throws his hardest fastball of the day right there, 96.
So another 1-2 pitch. Too tight, 2-2. Well, the Red Sox with a 3.5 game lead in the division. Pop foul again. Yankees in second place. Cleveland has a 7.5 game lead in the Central. In fact, they're the only team above 500 in the Central. And the Astros with a 5-game lead on Seattle, 9-game lead on Oakland. The Athletics are coming on strong. They're making a run at Seattle for second place. Bouncer to Scope. Andrews is finally retired and 1 away. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Ocean City. There's no end to the fun you'll have in Ocean City, so plan your trip today at OCOcean.com. And by Nissan, choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. So Mike Wright does leave. Paul Fry comes on. 1 out, none on in the 7th.
His 8th appearance. See the ERA just above 1. What I love about him, look at the strikeout to walk ratio. 9 strikeouts, only 7 innings. Not a walk to go with. Opponents only hitting .250 off the left-hander.
Well, for Fry, his 4th appearance on this 8-game homestand. And he is not allowed to run in 2 1/3 total innings. So Mike Wright does a real good job pitching 3 innings, allowing 1 run. And here's Profar, who was 0 for 2 with a walk. Good looking breaking ball, and it's 0-1. And that's what we've learned about Paul Fry, Ben, is his breaking ball has that tight spin and he throws it for strikes.
Yeah, the ability to throw it just about any time he wants to for a strike.
Line down the right field line and foul. Slices back. And it's a nice play down there. Played the carom perfectly off the hop.
Yeah.
And that one ran in on his fists. The Red Sox are at home today against Toronto. They have a lead in the 8th. The Yankees are on the road in Cleveland. They trail in the 8th. If those 2 games hold, it'll be a 4.5 game lead for Boston at the break.
Starting to get away, aren't they?
Check swing and it's low. They appeal. No swing. They've still played 3 more games than the Yankees. The Yankees made up one of those here on Monday against the Orioles. Orioles and Yankees also have a doubleheader here at Camden Yards in August. The 1-2, swinging a bouncer to third. Peterson waits on the hop and fires, and in time. Profar was hustling down the line, and again Davis had to go down to get it. 2 away.
Yeah, Profar really got down the line. Just a 2-hopper. He's out of the box quickly. You can see Peterson, good throw across the diamond, and I mean just in time as Chris Davis stretches out to get him. Yeah, going back to Boston, when you got the #1 offense in the league and then you back that up with the #3 pitching staff in the league,
it's a good combo.
The results are going to be pretty good normally.
That is a good combo. So here's ROUGNED ODOR, a single in 3 trips.
Yeah, Red Sox hitting .272 as a team. That's 10 points better than what the Astros are hitting in 2nd place. That's a big difference.
And he hit him. And what else is new? That's the 8th time he's been hit by a pitch.
Yeah, he's got that elbow guard on. Watch him. He's in no hurry to try to get that elbow out of the way. We saw it in game 1 of this series, too. He kind of left the elbow out there as well.
That's why there are a lot of folks that thinks that hitters should not be able to wear that type of stuff.
I agree. If you get a few of them off that elbow with no pad on it, you're less likely to hang that old elbow out over the plate next time. You get it bruised up enough.
0-1 on Guzman, who's a dangerous hitter here. He's already hit a grand slam in this game. And the pitch misses outside. Well, the Rangers have it down to an art form. That is the 57th time a Rangers hitter has been hit by a pitch, most in the American League.
Well, that's how they score their runs. If you look at the team batting average, we talked about it, it's 14th best out of 15 teams. But yet when it comes to runs per game, they're kind of in the middle of the pack, the Rangers are. And that's because they do a good job of getting on base, finding a way to get on base.
Yeah, they're almost at 4.4 runs per game. Checking the scouting reports on Paul Fry. Who's this guy? ODOR goes, swing and a miss, throw to second, the tag, he is out at second base. And another perfect throw by Caleb Joseph and a sweet tag to get him. So the caught stealing at second base. That will end the seventh inning stretch at Camden Yards. After this. Sees from Mike Minor and hits it out to left field. A no doubt about it shot, his 24th of the year. That got the Orioles back in the game at 4-1. And the O's now lead at 6-5. Hurry to your local Ford dealers for great savings on cars, trucks, and SUVs. 6-5 game. Welcome back into the booth. Jim and Ben on this Sunday afternoon, and a real entertaining game because each team has had moments.
Yeah, I mean, the Rangers, of course, got on the board with a grand slam, but I like the way Manny and the Orioles came back and answered right back in the first inning. Of course, the Orioles had their big explosion in the third inning. They put a 5 spot up, and they have not relinquished the lead yet. I mean, 6-5 going to the bottom of the 7th, so a good ball game. I think the last 3 games for the Orioles have all been one-run games. They've lost 2 out of 3, but still, they're here in every ball game. The question is, for the rest of the season and the rest of the way, can they find a way to get over the hump and be a little bit more consistent?
Well, and it's good to see the big base hits to drive in runs, especially with 2 men down. Getting those big base hits is something that has been lacking over the course of the year.
Oh, no doubt. And you're not going to pull that overall batting average up of 227. What you can pull up the second half of the season is getting base hits with runners in scoring position, and that's going to be the key for the Orioles to be a little bit more consistent, because, you know, if you go back and look at the starting pitchers in this series for the Orioles have really pitched it pretty well.
Manny Machado now out of the game. We had a rain delay. Here's Jesse Chavez coming on. He'll face Scope, Peterson, and then Adam Jones.
Now Chavez making his 30th appearance. The ERA is a really good one, just below 3.6.
Scope trying to slap it to right field, but he hits it right to Guzman, so on 1 pitch, 1 down.
Opponent's batting average hit 263. Right-handers 255. He's a fly ball guy, 55-45 versus the ground balls. We saw him in game 1 of this series as well.
John Marinez getting loose in this 1-run game. Strike 1 to Jace Peterson, his second at bat. He's in Machado's spot. Manny homered and walked and scored twice. Peterson, coming into today's game, had just 4 at-bats the entire homestand, and he hits it near SHIN-SOO, who's now going to back up. Ground ball to second base. Here's Odor. Oh, and he just got him. Wow. Peterson hustling down the line, 2 away. That is impressive when you're hustling like that. So 2 quick outs in the 7th. The MLB.TV All-Star Sale is here. For $39.99, you can watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. Now, your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV to take advantage of this sale. Here's Adam Jones. He's 1 out of 3, but that one was Hughes. A bases loaded double to clear the bases in the 3rd inning. And that base hit gave the Orioles the lead.
Yeah, and Mr. Jones needed that big base hit. And a big one. His boy got a breaking ball hung up in the zone and hit it right down the left field line.
Strike on the corner quickly, 0-2. Adam has fared well against Chavez. He is 5 for 17 against Jesse with a home run. So the Yankees have lost. That game has gone final. So Boston 3 outs away from going to the All-Star break, 4.5 ahead in the AL East.
Wow.
And the reason we keep bringing that up is those 2 teams. I mean, Boston has the best record in baseball, and the Yankees aren't far behind. One of those teams will play in the wild card game, which is a 1-game showdown. This is going to be a tough play for Profar. Barehanded pickup and throws it beyond Guzman, and Adam is safe. So Adam reaches with 2 down. That should be an infield hit. Swinging bunt. And it is a base hit. Profar had to hurry.
Yeah, Profar did all he can do. And I didn't think the throw was all that bad, but the first baseman, Guzman, Didn't look like he had his shoulder square back to where the ball was coming from. A ball probably he should have received and didn't.
So that'll get Trumbo in at bat with a man on. Breaking ball froze him, and it's in there for a strike. 1-1. Jesse Chavez, a veteran, has found a home in Texas. Line foul. Been a tough first half for the Orioles. I'm sure the players are looking forward to a couple of days away, as you mentioned earlier, you know, family time and maybe some vacation time.
Yeah. That always helps. But like you said, when things are going well and you're hot, you're pitching good or hitting good, you never want to have a break. You want to stay right there with it. But certainly the case the Orioles in right now, it's probably going to be good to get away. You just don't want them to get used and start accepting what's been going on. I think that's when you get in trouble as an athlete, is when you start accepting and say, well, the rest of the season is going to be like this too. This when you really get in trouble, I think. There's a lot of baseball and a lot to play for left in the 2018 season for the Orioles for sure.
Well, halfway to the non-waiver trade deadline. Trumbo fights it off to stay alive. Trades can still be made in August, but a player has to get through waivers, and the players that have been talked about in July will never get through waivers in August. So that's why this trading deadline should be very busy. And I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see some activity either tomorrow or right after the All-Star game. Zach Britton is certainly on that list. A lot of contenders would like him. Ground ball to second. There's ODOR. And he'll play it to first to get Trumbo, and that'll do it. So the 2-out hit for Adam Jones and 1 left. We head to the 8th. Birds with a 1-run lead. Back to the bottom of the third. Adam Jones batting, bases loaded. He jumps on the first pitch from Mike Minor and hits it into the corner. It rolls all the way to the wall. Caleb Joseph scores. Jonathan Scope scores. Machado right behind him. And that base hit from Adam Jones gave the Orioles the lead. And they still have the lead as we head to the top of the 8th. Manny Machado jersey.
Get them while you can.
Soon to be a collector's item. Well, Paul Fry stays on. Here is Ronald Guzman. And the pitch upstairs. Guzman a grand slam back in the first. He has since struck out a couple of times. Just missed outside. This is the third batter for Paul Fry. He came on in relief of Mike Wright, who did a real nice job today. 3 innings, just the home run by CHOO, the solo shot.
Yeah, he gave up 5 hits, but you know what? He didn't walk a batter, struck out 3. Got the big ground ball double play when Jonathan Scope caught the ball, stepped on second and over the first base. That got him out of a big inning.
Jake Diekman getting loose. Mariñez up again. This inning it's lefty righty lefty. So Fry may stay on for all 3. Breaking ball fouled off. Rangers have done a real good job of that today to prolong at bats. Right into the shift. That's Peterson, the third baseman, who gets his man. So Guzman is retired and 1 away. You know, the other race that's interesting, Ben, is the NL East. We talked about the AL East, but the Phillies are in first place, but they lost today. So if Atlanta can win at home, and they are leading in the 9th, they'll be a half game apart.
Wow.
At the All-Star break.
And what a turnaround season it's been for the Phillies, huh? This is happening a year or 2 sooner than what they thought would happen.
Here's Ryan Rua, who is 1 out of 3 with a single. Slipped out of his hand, 1-0. Of course, the tightest race is in the NL West, where Arizona has a half game lead on the Dodgers, 2.5 on Colorado, and 3.5 on San Francisco. Colorado's won 4 in a row to get back in it. 1-1. Ryan Rua, 28 years old in his 5th season. He's a real good backup outfielder for Texas. He has a lot of speed. He can pinch run. He's from Amherst, Ohio.
Yeah, went to Lake Erie College. Amherst, Ohio.
Breaking balls high for ball 3. This is the 4th batter Fry is facing. Guide to center field. That's an easy play for Adam Jones. He'll glide over. And the one-handed catch, and 2 down here in the Texas 8th. Well, the Orioles open up the second half Friday night in Toronto. Our coverage on MASN begins at 6:30 with those extra presented by Ford, and then game coverage at 7 o'clock. We've got all the access you need right here on MASN. Sun now breaking through the overcast. We did have a rain delay in the 4th inning. A lot of families out here. They love daytime baseball. Here's Joey Gallo. Trying to bunt against the shift, and he fouled it back.
Well, that's something new for him. We saw him hit a home run to left center field in game 1 of this series, and they continue to pick on Adrian Beltre. Get a little cold water down the back. How about him? Near, what is he, 39, 40 years old? Still putting up big numbers. Power numbers are down just a little bit, but the average is where it's always been, right around 288.
And he's 39 in his 21st season.
Yeah, I was looking at those numbers last night. 466 career home runs, over 3,100 hits.
He made his big league debut with the Dodgers at the age of 19 in 1998. 21st big league season.
Nearly 1,700 RBIs. May see him today in a pinch hit and roll. You never know.
So Gallo hanging tough. Count of 1-2. And he got him. Real good slider. So Gallo down on strikes, and Paul Fry has a 3-up, 3-down 8th inning. Mid-8th, O's come to bat, up by a run. In 1960, Brooks Robinson became the first of 4 Orioles to hit for the cycle. He went 5 for 5, 3 ribbies in a 5-2 win at Comiskey Park in Chicago. Singled in the 1st and 5th, homered in the 3rd, doubled in the 7th, and completed the cycle with the triple in the 9th inning. That was back in 1960. It would be 24 years before the next cycle. Cal Ripken Jr. So there's a youngster posing with the Brooks statue in Legends Park. And here's Jake Diekman.
Yeah, Jake Diekman been used a lot in the first half, making his 41st appearance. You see the record, a very good ERA, 32 2/3 innings pitched. Look at that, 40 strikeouts, 19 walks by the left-hander.
So the 4 cycles in Orioles history: Brooks, Cal, Aubrey Huff, and Felix Pie is probably the most unlikely. The last 2 cycles, Huff in 2007, PA in 2009, both done against the Angels.
Wow.
Danny Valencia, and Diekman gets ahead 0-1. Danny DHing today, did reach on an error in the 3rd, and on that throwing error by Profar, Adam Jones scored. And that's a big run, because right now that run is the difference in the game. And we'll remind you that if this lead holds and Mr. Britton getting loose for the save, Tanner Scott will be a winner for the first time in the big leagues. Just outside, 1-2.
There's Mr. Tanner Scott.
Strike 3, painted the outside corner. He missed, just missed the prior pitch, but went right back out there. So 1 down.
Well, that's why Diekman's got 40 strikeouts, only 32 2/3 innings pitched. Just knocks a little paint off the outside corner. Well, that's a tough one to handle right there. And I mean, it was a strike, just barely, but just a perfectly placed pitch.
Chris Davis now. Left center field, but it hooks right back at Joey Gallo, and he's got it for the out. So Davis down on 1 pitch and 2 away. Here's Joey Rickard. Drew the 10-pitch walk to get the rally going in the third. It was a leadoff walk. He then scored all the way from first base on the double by Caleb Joseph. That made it 4-2, and then Adam Jones, bases loaded double, drove in 3 to give the Orioles the lead.
Yeah, the Orioles would bat around in the 3rd inning. But it's been a while since the Orioles batted around in an inning. Runs have been hard to come by.
There's a soft liner to second. Odor barehands it, and he throws out Rickard. Nicely done. Softly hit. Who needs a glove? Odor makes the play to end the 8th. With nothing to hide, that's transparency. A lot of folks out on the concourse, and Zach Britton is on some kind of a roll. 6 consecutive scoreless appearances, 6 consecutive scoreless innings.
Yeah, and I tell you what, looking like the old Zach Britton, no doubt about it. We saw him last night pick up his 3rd save of the season. The fastball was up to 98 miles an hour, and more importantly than that, it had that good late sink to it. Just made Zach Britton so successful in recent years. The opponent's only hitting .213 off of the left-hander.
And there are scouts that have hung around just in case Zach got in the game, so they are observing. Ball 1 to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. This is the toughest save, the 1-run save. No room for error. Adrian Beltre is going to pinch hit for the Shields. There's a strike, 2-1 for Zach, the 2nd time that he has pitched on back-to-back days. And that's also what scouts look for.
That's what they want to see.
Not only can you do it, how effective are you in the 2nd day?
That's right. And effective he was last night. I mean, it was special again.
Beckham gobbles it up. That ball was blistered. And the throw gets him 1 down. So there's another good sign. The one down on the ground ball. Here's Adrian Beltre to pinch hit.
Beltre 2 for 8 in this series. Career 288 hitter, hitting right there, 287 this year.
Ball one outside. This is only the 4th pinch hit at bat for Beltre, who's usually in the game at third base. He is 0 for 3 as a pinch hitter. Weak ground ball to short. Beckham waits on this one. Easy play and 2 quick outs.
Yeah, broken bat right there. Got Beltre to hit it right off the end of the bat. You could hear it crack as soon as it hit.
So with all of the baseball world about to gather in Washington for the All-Star game, might this be the last time Zach Britton?
Very well could be. Because look, he's going to be a valuable part. You put him at the back end of somebody's bullpen, whether it's in a setup role, a closing role, whatever it is, or a little bit of both, to go along with another setup or closer type person, it's going to be a special bullpen.
Manny's in demand. We've heard Adam Jones' name pop up in trade rumors, in particular with Cleveland. There's all that speculation until a deal is actually made. Strike one to CHOO. Britton has dominated. Tanner Scott would pick up his first big league win. He's not away from that. He was in the game when the Orioles got the lead. As much as wins and losses are out of control of starting pitchers, even more so for relievers, because you never know when you're going to be in the game and when that rally. And just ask Michael Givens, the vulture. 18 wins over the last 2 years for Michael. Hold down an opponent, the team rallies back, and all of a sudden you have a W. Too far. Yep, they appeal, and he went.
And that's the gift right there of Zach Britton. That movement on that ball right there. Watch this ball right at the last second. I mean, just runs right in on SHIN-SOO CHOO, and that's not fair. I mean, that is not fair. A, to throw that hard. B, to make a ball move that much with that kind of velocity.
CHOO was saying that. I can't hit that.
It's like a wiffle ball.
A little bit low, he doesn't chase. So the sinker is sinking.
Yeah, if you watch it from the view that we get from the center field camera, it almost looks like a split finger fastball, the way the bottom falls out of it, or maybe even a changeup. But then you look at the velocity of it and you realize it's a fastball that actually moves like that.
And 2-2 the count. A little bit low again. And CHOO has a real good eye.
He does. He is so good at that, and the reason why he's having such a good year. Every great hitter you've ever seen, they don't chase many balls out of the strike zone. They swing at strikes for the most part. CHOO is just like that. 51 now consecutive games he has made his way on base. I think the Ranger record is what, 59, set by Will Clark over the course of 2 seasons. So CHOO is trying to chase down Clark in that category.
Weak contact, but he stays alive. Yeah. The difference is, didn't Clark do it over 2 seasons?
2 years, yeah. End of 1 season and beginning of another season. 0-3-0.
Fans cheering on Zach. And there's ball 4. That one got away. So that puts the tying run on. Go-ahead run comes to the plate with 2 down.
So CHOO ends up on base 4 out of 5 times today. 2 base hits, including a home run, 2 walks.
Carlos Tocci's going to come in and pinch run for CHOO, representing the tying run. Now, if Britton can get this final out and earn the save, the Orioles will have won back-to-back games for just the 3rd time since June the 5th. And they beat the Mets June the 5th and June the 6th. And that's the last time they won back-to-back one-run games.
Oh, wow.
They won the first game against the Mets 2-1, won the second game 1-0.
Of course, they'll pick up a series victory for the first time in a while as well.
Low ball 1. Andrews has been on base twice. There's Tocci. Swings through the sinker, 1-1.
Watch the late life.
You got to be a strong player mentally to be able to just ignore everything going on around you when you're the subject of all these rumors. He went too far in the check swing, 1-2. And Zach can see right where the scouts are sitting because they're right behind home plate.
No, it's tough to perform. Yeah, he knows they're there. He knows his name is being mentioned a lot. But it's part of being a professional player. It's part of it. You don't necessarily like it, but it's part of it. But it's also an exciting opportunity. I know the Oriole fans would love to see him stay.
A 1-2. Can't get him to chase, so the count evens 2-2. Nice stop there by Caleb to prevent that tying run from getting in the scoring position.
Yeah, I don't know how you catch that sinker like he does. I mean, because the movement of it.
A 2-2. Line down the right field line. That is a fair ball, and it's into the corner. Tocci heading to third. He's being sent. Here's Scope's relay pro. He runs right through a stop sign, a late stop sign, and out at the plate is Tocci. Tony Beasley sent him, then he tried to stop him, and Tocci just kept on going. So indecision by the coach, and the game ends with a play at the plate. What a throw by Scope.
Yeah, this ball is hit right down the line in the corner. Trumbo does a nice job, gets to it. Watch the relay to Scope. Scope with a quick one-hopper, and I mean, perfect throw. Can't do it any better than that. Tocci's out. Orioles win the ball game and the series going into the All-Star break.
Caleb waiting for him to apply the tag, and that's how this game ends. So the Orioles win back-to-back games. Trumbo to Scope to Joseph for the final out at the plate.